Shit Radio is a Kennedy Studios Productions. The opinions stated by various contributors to Talk Shit Radio and its radio programs are not to be considered as or endorsed by Kennedy Studios Incorporated. Visitors are urged to use their own discretion to draw their own conclusions. All information, products, services, and use of this website is for entertainment purposes only and personal use only. Talk Shit Radio Network does not confirm nor deny the validity or accuracy of the information contained within the website or broadcast. Any services or products provided by Talk Shit Radio Network and its host contributors should be used solely for entertainment purposes only.
Hey, this is Lewis, and you're listening to Talk Shit Radio.
Welcome to Talk Shit Radio. I'm Yvonne.
Hey, what's up? This is Tim. This is Talk Shit Radio.
I have been out on the streets every day except for yesterday.
Okay.
What the media...
Leave the gun. Take the cannoli. So...
Hey, welcome to Talk Shit Radio. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It is Friday. We've already got somebody in the chat.
I know
It's just John.
It's just John.
Good morning, John. Thank you for joining us.
No intro. Just hey, welcome to Talk Shit Radio.
No stagers, no nothing. We're just jumping
just
right
jump
into
right
it.
into
Yeah,
it.
we're getting down. We're getting down and dirty today.
It's Friday. You
It's
gotta
TGIF. It's the end of Cannabis Week. Not to.
No, it's not. We got still next week to go through.
Well, I mean on
Talk Shit Radio.
Yeah, on the radio for us interviewing anybody right now. But what? Horny Welsh ghost tries to seduce driver on highway. Okay, we're gonna have to get to that one. I like horny ghosts.
Welsh?
I don't give a
Nice.
What the hell's Welsh?
That's like Scott.
Dutch. Yeah, Welsh, Dutch. Yeah,
Welsh.
Probably up in Pennsylvania. With the hairpiece.
Fucking hot. I was gonna say that, and you already jumped upon it.
She's got the hairpiece. I seen it. Yeah. So today's Friday. We got a bunch of shit going on.
Mm-hmm. We got a couple of people calling in.
We do. Who do we have?
We have Steve Janowitz.
All right. And Steve Janowitz is.
He is an activist for marijuana, medical marijuana.
You were on your game, brother. You had your shit in front of you.
Yes.
I thought I stumped you on that one.
No, and who is he?
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Nope.
That guy you talk to all the time.
Nope. He's an activist of a lot of things, though.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, he's a bundle of information, and if Steve doesn't know it, he'll find out about it before the day is up. Mm-hmm. Or, within 3 to 5 days being reasonable. What else?
And we have Dana Arvidsson.
Arbison?
Arvidsson.
I'll just say Dana.
Arvidsson.
Dana from the National Patients Wall.
Yes. That's up in Tennessee. She's the founder of the National Cannabis Patients Wall.
Yep.
She's a protester up there for legalizing marijuana in Tennessee.
It's funny, when I first started, when I first joined the group, I just kept on posting, Talk Shit Radio on it. It's just like, Lewis, I understand the story of your wife and everything, but, this is not that type of page. And I didn't understand what kind of page it was, what it was about. I didn't read into it. Mm-hmm. I just said, somebody said I can be in a group? Okay, let me put this up here.
Let me post it.
Yeah.
Share.
Well, then I started talking to Michelle and then said, well, babe, check it out for me. And she's like, yeah, stop posting in that wall. It's not for you.
This is not your wall.
It's not that type of wall. Don't post there.
Well, Tennessee, they're in the same stages as Florida over here.
They are.
With passing the bill for medical usage for marijuana.
No shit.
So they're basically in the same boat as us over here.
Nice.
So
Speaking of medical marijuana.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's nice. For medicinal reason, I got glaucoma.
It's bowl 30. Have you smoked your breakfast this morning yet?
Breakfast.
Breakfast of champions right there, buddy.
Yep. I don't know anything about breakfast.
Nope. What is this that I keep seeing on your newswire? This chick is standing here in a bathing suit. It says Randy Quaid angrily attacks Rupert Murdoch. But the chick that's standing in the background looks like she got drugged through the mill 5 times, had to endure a speech from President Kennedy twice, and be sodomized by Reagan once. That's how bad she looks. We'll get to that story.
We'll get to that story. I'd like to hear about that Welsh Dutch.
The horny ghost?
Yeah, the ghost. Yeah, the Welsh ghost.
Anything horny we like on Talk
Yeah,
Shit
whether it's a
Radio.
ghost or whatever.
If it's a ghost or not. You're running around fucking things. We want to know about it.
I do. I want to hear about that.
Shit. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be that way, but that's Talk Shit Radio, folks. Welcome to it. If you don't like it, there is a button to unlike it.
No. Even if you don't like it, don't unlike it.
Yeah, we need the plays.
Jesus.
I'm looking forward to having Steve on again. Mm-hmm. Never disappoints. Bundles and bundles and bundles of information.
I've never met him before.
I have a surprise guest going to be on a little bit later.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Surprise! I don't even know.
No, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
You
I
know.
thought we only had two guests.
No.
Would you like to announce it? Or-
Sure, go for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. It'll be Joe Exotic.
Absolutely.
He had a segment yesterday on CNN.
Yep.
About animal zoos in United States.
I don't know about you, but some of it pissed me off.
Oh yeah. Well, what zoos do to friggin' animals, you know?
Well, I cannot stand circuses to begin with. You and I have the same stance on circuses.
Yeah, I got the same exact.
Because when we did For the Love of Animals is really when I realized your stance on circuses. And anybody that doesn't know what the For the Love of Animals are, it was a show that we did that advocated the protection and For the Love of Animals, which is it was just coincidental to meet Joe. After we had already killed the show.
Yes.
We killed the show because of low ratings, low followers. Anyway, in other news, what, honey?
We also had wasn't it a gentleman who described the conditions in the circus area?
Yeah, we did. We had that one guy who we talked
Who
about. Well,
was
you
also
actually
against.
interviewed
Remember
him.
when you interviewed him?
Yes, I remember that.
About the elephants.
About
The
how
elephants,
they were treated.
how they were trained,
How they were that
performing for
freaking
the audience.
enraged me, bro.
And we put a lot of that. You put a lot of.
I
that
actually
up at the
replayed that
time.
a few times.
For our personal amusement, this
Yeah.
is what they're going through.
Yeah.
They're subjected to.
That's another one that we.
Yeah, so it was
bring-
all, it all fell in line, and then it all just makes sense on how we run into Joe and we start working with Joe and doing things again for the animals.
Yes.
I'm an animal lover, just by my home. I got my 2 cats, my dog. We just had a rat, but she passed away. We got a bird. We've had fish. Dude.
lobster.
bird that fucking
Get a
hates
lobster
me.
as a pet.
We had a lobster. I had a pet lobster.
Did you eat it?
No. My fish ate it. I had to keep the circle of life going. You don't remember?
100 babies.
She had
and
more than
they
100
ate each
babies,
other.
Tim. I
What, the
swear to
lobster?
you. The lobster.
Lobster.
It was more than 100. You know how they cling to the belly? Mm-hmm. There was more than 100 under there. There was probably 100 on each flap, bro.
And then
Would you put it in a fish tank?
Yeah.
What was that? A 2.5
2.5
gallon?
gallon for her to deliver.
Yep.
And then we also had a 55 gallon in the wall.
Yep. She got to the point where she wanted out of that tank and those babies off of her, so she climbed out of the tank. Now, the tank was on the top of my entertainment center. Climbed out of the tank, fell from the top of the entertainment center, crawled her ass into my room, and guess where I woke up to her?
In your
on
bed?
my chest.
In your bed?
With the one claw going like this.
She was,
That's what I woke up
she was
feeling.
done.
We were in Long Island in the basement apartment. Remember, baby? I thought it was a freaking spider. I was ready to freak out. I was
And
ready to
fling it.
swat
I
it.
would have freaked out either way.
I was ready to swat it and
It's
freak.
like, babe.
I opened my eye and I looked and I just went, and in disbelief, I had to make sure I wasn't dreaming, so I woke her up. It was Tallulah Bell the lobster on my chest going, thank you, come again, get me out of tank. She was done. She didn't want her babies anymore. She was done. So we put her in with the Pacus and the Oscars.
Well, we let her live for a little bit, and then they ended
She
up
didn't.
taking her. She went and hid. And
I was going to say let her live.
She didn't make it.
She didn't make it.
no.
I put her in with
so
a
then
Pacu
these
that's as
100
big as this freaking monitor, bro.
100 or two.
How big was the lobster? I'm sorry.
She's only this.
Oh,
She's,
no,
like that.
by then she was about this big.
well,
When we
got
got her, she was that.
Now the babies
She
are
shed.
no bigger than this right
The
here.
tip
this
of the
size.
pencil, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, tiny little
And
fritters.
then they started growing. Well, then remind you, they're in a 2.5 gallon tank.
Yeah, we
you
had
know,
lots
so
and lots of Oscar food.
They just continued
Oh, wow.
continued just eating each other, and we got down to
one,
the
two,
one,
three,
one
one or two
left,
left, yeah.
one left, and that was
In with the Paco, he went.
we brought him to Florida.
No, that's right, yeah.
We brought him in the tank to Florida.
Bro, I drained the tank down to about 4 inches of water and put it in the back seat of the car with him in it, and we came down, yeah.
But he didn't like Florida water. He wanted New York water,
Yeah.
so he ended up dying, and that's what happened. Like,
It was the lime and everything probably in the water.
Now,
Yeah, it killed him.
Did you have salt water, fresh water?
Never.
Fresh. We all-
Fresh.
Johnny just actually got salt water maybe 5 to 10 years ago. You know, and I'm talking many years. We're going back.
You know how much upkeep you got to keep on a
Oh,
freaking saltwater tank? You got to have another tank
No,
to filtrate
actually-
I
it,
didn't-
to
No,
have
we
those
looked
balls
into it.
inside
I
for the
didn't.
filtration.
I didn't have to upkeep nothing when it came
that's
to
what we
John's
had,
tank.
though,
Yeah.
for our fresh tank. Mm-hmm. I mean, we were really into
When it came to John's tank and they went on vacation and I had to take care of the tank, I didn't have to do nothing but feed them. And to me, that was awesome, dude. These are killers, man. These sons of bitches come out and eat that shit. You could literally take the little, herrings or whatever we used to feed them, and they were fish.
The little goldfish, maybe.
And the one fish that he had, I mean, you didn't want it to come anywhere near your fingers, but it would come up and take it. It was a lionfish.
Oh, yeah. Those things are poisonous.
Yes.
Those things are poisonous. You get stuck with that, man. You gotta go to a
Badass
doctor.
tank. Yeah, Johnny will tell you, man. I used to sit there. We'd be doing nothing, and I would just sit there and stare in the tank. There's always something to look at in that tank. Remember? You remember, baby.
I had a friend who had a shark tank, and he had a lot of sharks in there. He had like 3
Mama
or
had an
4.
eel tank.
It was crazy.
mine. I love my eels.
Yeah.
Dinosaur eel, snake eel, tiger eel,
I like
leopard
eels.
eel.
I
all
like
the-
eels, too.
Yeah, you couldn't eat these.
Really? You
Yeah.
eat-
Yeah.
And it's good
Up
taste?
up in New York, I used to freshwater fish for eels, and whatever ones I didn't use for bait and saltwater, I'd peel off their skin, I'd grill them up,
And you just cook it like
And
that,
what was
right?
or skillet,
Yeah.
grease.
No bones,
butter.
right?
Lemon,
No, they got
garlic,
Like a snake.
It's like a snake, yeah. It's got a
lemon,
little
garlic,
skeleton.
and shit.
Yeah, in a skillet, a little breadcrumbs.
And what does it taste like?
Tastes like fish.
It
I
does
but
taste like
really
fish.
fishy, really fishy. Like
No, actually,
No.
less fishy than a fish tastes.
You
though,
know how
right?
slimy they are when you cook them. All the slime,
It's gone,
It's
right?
gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
After you peel off the skin off of them,
you do oysters too.
No, I don't like oysters.
Now, see, that John got me hooked on. Oysters and mussels.
Mussels, that's my shit.
In red marinara sauce
Oh,
with some
garlic
bread.
and butter.
Keep your hands and your feet away from the aisles, children, because this animal will chew them off. Yeah, that's good shit. And I didn't think I liked it at first. I tried it, and then that was it. Bro, me and John used to go to this one place, the Crab Shack. You know Joe's Crab Shack, or what? Not Joe's Crab Shack. What the hell's the name of it, John? Help me out
Popeyes?
here. No. It's right on the water. I believe it's in Patchogue. Oh, God. Johnny, help me out if you're listening, buddy. What the hell's the name of the place where the guy looked at me and he was like, damn, I had to move over. I thought you guys were going to eat my arms off. The waitress, so the bartender came down. She put the shit in front of us. And John and I dug in and attacked it, bro, until there was nothing left in that thing. Breading it dry, bread bowling it dry.
Is it harbor crab?
Harbor crab. That's what it was. Yes, that's what it was,
So-
I believe.
I know you two will
They
probably...
just went to La Volpe's for Kerry's.
Oh,
Sons of
I
bitches.
love La Volpe's.
Oh, yeah.
That's out in Center, right?
Yeah.
Center Merches.
What, baby?
You guys will probably say that it's not going a little too far, but Sports Illustrated normally has always has gorgeous models on the front in a bathing suit. This time, she's pulled them down the bathing suit right to that spot where they can't even show it on the TV right now. Now, I already seen it.
Who? What model?
Sports Illustrated.
What model?
Oh, she's so gorgeous. I can't think of her name. Just pull it up
Sports.
if you could post it. But they are asking, do you think it's too far with her pulling her bottoms down so low? I mean, this isn't.
Can I see
I gotta-
Bush?
I
Can
gotta
I
see.
see Bump?
Look, did you pull it up?
Timmy's checking it out now. So,
She's gorgeous. Oh my god!
because if you can't see, and I guess the way TV is now, if you can't
Hannah
see,
Davis is her name.
and
Hannah Davis, yeah.
my daughter's in the room. I want your opinion too, Ange. These models. Do you think that as low as some of these things go? what am I trying to say? Do you think that as long as you don't see, I guess, the lips and the crack and all of that, I hate to put it
Okay,
that way.
here you
but
go,
I mean,
Ange. That's the picture. Do you think that's too much?
nope.
But
Any
it's
further than that.
But it's Sports
any further
Illustrated.
than that.
Why did she have to pull him down?
Any further because it's sex sells. Period.
I get that. She's gorgeous. She doesn't need to pull him down.
That's not down all the way.
That's nothing.
I know it's not down all the way. Again,
And I
this
didn't
is-
know how to put it. That's why I said the bump and the crack. I didn't know how to
Yeah,
kind of
that
put
was
it. You know
not
what I mean?
really how you should put it.
Yeah, well,
She's a
what do you want me to
beautiful
say? The
girl.
freaking
Yeah.
slit in the clit? I mean,
Can you see the camel toe?
well, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah,
Let's keep it nice
That's
this
actually a
morning.
good-
Okay,
yeah.
I haven't had.
We are keeping it nice. You're
that
the one who
was
brought up
keeping
the
it
story.
nice. Don't you worry, honey.
You're the one who
It is
brought
a
up the
nice
story.
story. I think she's
No,
gorgeous.
that
She is
definitely-
gorgeous.
I think that it's but I think that it's a little
too much.
Revealing?
place
I don't-
for sports it's swimsuit.
So what?
It's
exactly.
it's
Listen.
sports,
Exactly.
it's Sports
Thank
Illustrated.
You. I can handle seeing that in Victoria's Secret.
I got something to say, but it'll get me in a lot of trouble.
I don't know what you're gonna say. I like to hear it actually.
It's always the women who don't have that body that say, "That's so disgusting. You should not pose like that. It's so disgusting. It's demoralizing to women."
I don't think it's.
I'll tell you what. If you
demoralizing.
think it's
And I
demoralizing
don't
to
think
women, go
that
get in the
I
fucking gym, work
have
your
that
ass
body
out.
either.
Well,
So.
no, you had that body, baby.
This cover, it leaves up to imagination. You leave up to imagination to finish what it
make
looks
no
like.
mistake. I'm not down in my baby girl because that's what made me fall in love with her. She was skinny as a rail, tall, skinny blonde, dude. Pfft. Yowza.
I mean, what is this girl? 20 years old, 21 years old in this cover.
And she's worked her whole life to get to that moment, to where you've worked your whole life to get to a different moment. So there's a difference. You know what I mean?
24 years old.
Your opinion of a female's body is also different than my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So
But I'm not looking at it. I'm not judging her body though.
But you're just judging,
You're judging
the
the
exposure
shoot.
that she's.
All right.
she's
I'm just saying.
all right, baby.
that,
I know what you're saying now. I got you.
I
Yep.
have no problem.
Let me ask you this. What do you think if we're trying to sell talk shit? All right.
That's
Do you
different.
think?
That's
Wait a
talk
minute.
shit.
Hold on. It's
Depends
not
on what
different.
you're
They're trying to sell a magazine. Okay, a swimsuit magazine for that matter. Mm-hmm. All right, with hot chicks in it. So that's what you do. We're trying to sell a radio show that's on the edge of breaking rules and being risque. So let's say, what do you think would sell a radio station better? Me standing there holding my big fat gut with my arm around Timmy, or a chick half naked with what are they called? The micro bikinis. You ever see one of those? I mean, it don't leave much to desire.
Okay.
what, like a thread.
It's pretty much, yeah, that's all it is. And then there's two little nipple covers with threads connected to them. Yeah.
Are you on the actual Sports Illustrated?
No, I'm
website?
not. I'm on.
Okay, listen.
Fox.
I have no. It's Sports Illustrated. Their last picture, the girls were not wearing any tops, and
And then they're just covering.
They're just covering with their
They're
hands.
just
no.
covering
Have you
with their
look? No, they're all just asses, and one girl's hair is covering the other girl's hair.
That's pretty
Now, see
revealing.
that. I
So
think,
why is there so much controversy about this?
I don't know.
It's Sports
It's not
Illustrated.
me.
You
It's
have to
not-
understand
listen,
that they're
it's
gonna
not
show
me.
that.
No, I
I'm
know, but
just
we're
bringing
making a
up
debate
the
about it,
top-
baby.
you
No,
know,
yeah, we're
bringing up the
debate- we're
topic.
talking about it.
Look, this is the picture. It's gorgeous
So, in your opinion, baby, what do you think?
because that's the rear, and nobody was having a problem with that, and they're covered, and the front that's way too close to the forbidden area.
The forbidden fruit. Turn it. You want some of my coffee, buddy?
That's what I think
Crazy
is the big
enough, you don't
debate
need no
about.
fucking coffee.
It's
Get
the
outta here,
difference
cat.
between the back and the front.
This cat.
Most
I can
girls,
understand that.
most girls would go to a topless beach before they would go to a nude beach.
I wouldn't go to either.
Well, it's optional.
Yeah, well, I'd have to wear very tight-fitting underwear and very loose-fitting shorts if I went to either one. And if I went to a nude beach, I would lay on my belly all day.
I'd have to be in the water about waist deep.
Yeah, I'd have to dig a
the
little
whole time.
trench. I'd have to dig a little trench for acceptance. And just lay down and accept the fact that my ass and my back is going to be so sunburnt because I ain't moving from this spot until we leave.
Some of the beaches you don't want to go to, though, that are nude beaches.
Yeah, because there's nothing but Q-tip heads and saggy boobs.
Exactly.
And, yeah, snail trails.
Yeah.
And in other news, What kind of pictures should we put up for today's episode? Some verbiage, a proverb.
How about just the legalization?
How about no victim, no crime?
Oh, that's good.
Okay, no victim, no crime. It is.
That works. This girl is hot, though.
Which one?
The
We like
Sports
hot
Illustrated.
girls. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not
Hannah
really
Davis,
looking at it.
24 years old,
80 other things going on.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Post it so I can look at it later.
I'm
God
gonna
damn it!
post it. I'm gonna post it right now.
This cat is like, I mean, I can't do nothing without him right here. Literally. He has to be
He wants to
right
be with
in my
Daddy.
face. It is ridiculous. Not that I mind. I love my little boy. But if he would just lay
I
down
want the
and
new
relax.
pen that's out there.
Mhm.
It's a 3D pen.
Pen.
Pen?
You said
Yeah.
pen?
Pen. P-E-N.
3D pen.
And
It is 3D.
no, you draw. It's like it looks
Oh, I
almost
did
like
see
a
that. And you
tattoo
could
gun.
pull
It looks
the...
like it's coming right at me.
It's cool
sorry.
as
Give me.
shit.
Look. Watch. Ready? 3D. Did you see that? Did I just break something?
No.
I broke the
Yeah,
pen?
you broke the pen.
Oh,
The clip
that's
on it.
all right. It's a shitty pen.
This is cool. Oh my god!
Shitty
This
pen.
girl
Yeah.
went ahead and drew or 3D'd a plane
3D.
and put a motor in it and controlled it.
Really?
Yeah, really cool shit.
That's what some of the
I'm
cool
getting
shit
one.
about the 3D printers is you can do all sorts of wicked shit. What do we got going on in the chat? I see my little bell going off here. Somebody's chiming in. Hey, Johnny, what's going on? Where the hell are all these people? Where the hell are all what people?
What people?
Which ones were we talking about?
Oh, those people.
Those
people.
I got you now. I put up some articles about Don Lewis, and Don Lewis is the body that Hernando County Sheriff's is trying to recover out in Brooksville.
I saw that.
Yep. I encourage everybody, please go check it out. Tells the story. The story is by a dude by the name of Juan. All right, and that's all the information I got from him. He has a website that is dedicated to pretty much destroying this woman, and he's my new best friend. I'm going to get to meet him, and we're going to become best buddies and lifelong friends.
Are we going to speak her name?
Who, Carol Baskin? That
Yeah,
cunt?
Carol Baskin, yes.
Yeah, no, the lion feeder, tamer,
Yes.
owner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big cat.
Oh,
killer.
yeah, we're going to freaking
I got
bash
breaking
her.
news. I got breaking news.
Breaking news.
You ready?
Dun, dun,
Hold
dun.
on. Let me strap myself in.
Oh,
Hold on, lover boy.
that's, I guess
Here
it's
we
better
go.
than a strip on.
True. Very, very true.
Easter
Good point.
and April Fools are on the same day. So this year, tell your kids to search for eggs, but
And
you
then
don't
put
hide
them
them.
and go, April Fool.
That's funny.
Oh, yes, I love it.
That's some breaking news.
Listen, I'm a bad joker when it comes to April Fools.
Mm-hmm.
I take it to a limit to where it's like almost heart-wrenching.
Not funny.
It's not.
It's not funny.
It's not. When I finally do my April Fools, you're so upset, you're so heartbroken, it's so traumatic that you really get pissed.
He'll do it days before.
But I enjoy it.
And he'll say April Fool
Yeah.
on March 30th.
Yeah, he's done that before too. I'm like, really, dude?
It's not even the first yet.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Or I'll just play it up so much and just a whole production, brother. I'm good at that kind of shit. I like it. It's fun.
I just for a friend Bruno, 4:30 this morning. Bruno, 1 second. At 4:30 this morning, he woke up and needed to be put on oxygen. And Giselle says, "Why so much prohibition to a natural medicine? It should be a parent's choice, not us fighting against politics. Why our children are sitting here suffering." Guys, please, listeners out there, help Florida. We
That's
need
crazy.
to help our children.
Help the children, yeah.
He's needing oxygen, and just if you can contribute anything.
Contribute. Do as much as you can. Careful. That fucking microphone stand is going today, bro.
Right.
I keep bumping into it.
Everyone
You
keeps
gotta
on
go,
bumping
baby?
into it.
Give me a kiss. Love you. Have a good day.
So
But with every
Take him out of here,
wait,
please.
it's
Take
every-
him out of here, please.
it's every parent's nightmare to wake up to something like that with their
Anything,
with
bro.
their child.
Anything.
regardless if your child is healthy or not,
Anything,
but this is a proven medicine that can help this child. Why?
I used to
some
freak
freaking
out.
billionaire from Las Vegas who doesn't even belong here in Florida gonna come here and spend millions of dollars so you can open a casino. Dude, you're gonna be dead soon. Stay in Vegas.
And die.
Stay in Vegas and
There's a lot
make
of
your
holes
money
out in the
there.
desert.
Die.
Make your money out there. Get out of Florida.
He doesn't even need to come here to friggin' make money. He's got money. He doesn't need to be
He could
here
buy
to fuck
Florida.
with us.
He could buy Florida.
Yeah.
He can buy Florida.
Obviously.
Definitely, yeah.
That's why he's in office right now.
Right.
Second term, right?
I don't know. I got this piece of shit out in California, down in Laguna Beach, trying to run for mayoral elect. I don't know if he's in Laguna Beach, but he's in that area. And
Is this the one who bashed our friend?
yes, this is the one that bashed a very close friend of mine, and I'm gonna have to dispatch some freaking talk shitting up close and personal to this guy.
Oh, I was going to say, okay.
Yeah, no. I'm going to introduce myself personally because him and I will cross paths. See, that's the beauty of what I'm doing and what we're involved in.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many people
You can confront.
that have said things to me that have already forgotten about it. But see, I'm like an elephant when it comes to shit like that. I will never, ever forget what you said or what you did to me. And 30 years could go by, and I'll run into you, and I'll remind you of it. Sometimes pleasant, sometimes not so pleasant. But this guy, and I'm talking about September Pierce as being bullied and being just harassed, and I'm not going to put the guy's name out there just yet because I don't want everybody to attack him until I get my hands around his throat. I mean, until I talk about him.
Until I get a piece of him.
You like the way I said the throat?
Yeah,
I said throat.
I
Until
heard
I get
throat.
my hands around his
Throat.
throat.
I didn't want to reiterate it.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I'll choke the fucker out if he says something. He's this old man. Okay, he's a washed up piece of shit, meth, heroin, freaking. What do you use to get off the heroin? What is it called? Methadone,
Suboxone.
Yeah, all of that. He's just a burned out, wasted piece of shit who's trying to take credit for other people's work. He's got a lot of followers. I mean, it's got a lot of mutual friends of mine. Now, I've already talked to a few of the mutual friends that I have. Mm-hmm. Listen, I'm going to, stir up some problems with this dude. I hope you're not too close to him. If it bothers you, if it offends you, please tell me, and I'll, rethink my approach.
You're going to offend me.
Well, you don't even know who the hell I'm talking about, dude, so I could care less. And even if I did offend you, you're a big boy. I know you could take it. That's the good thing about you. You won't sit there and pout like
all right.
Shrimp Boy.
Oh, yeah, I won't sit there and cry.
Captain Shrimp Boy. That was funny when you did that yesterday, bro.
Yeah.
Pulling a Tony.
I wanted to talk.
Yeah, you're talking over me.
Shut up. You got nothing to say anyway.
Enough said. I saw a baby picture of him, bro. He has that same fat little face expression, dude. He hasn't changed a bit. That's what's really freaked
The
up
only
about
thing
it.
that changed was his glasses.
Nothing has changed.
He had a beard when he was a baby.
No, he came out with a beard. Hey, salty. I just, you know what? The one thing about Tony, bro, he definitely, what's the word? Is charismatic. Okay, he's got a bit of a way about him. He's a character.
He's a character.
He's a character.
If he was a cartoon, he'd be the funniest fucking cartoon out there.
Oh yeah, now that's
Funniest looking.
That's the way to do it. Yeah, right. Speaking of cartoons, I hooked up Dr. Hiccup's daughter with our 3D graphics program.
Oh yeah.
So she's going to install the iClone software.
Yeah.
And she's going to get to learn it. There's many outlets and things you can learn. That's the base software. So she's going to have, if she wants any add-ons.
Well, she's studying production.
She's
anyway
studying
right now.
broadcast production and everything like
production.
that. Yeah, so we're going to get her in here, and she's going to actually teach me a few things.
A lot of shit that you can learn about.
Bro, let me tell
animation
you
and film.
When it comes to what we're doing, all right, I bought equipment on the advice of my salesman. Mm-hmm. I explained to him I have no freaking clue
what to do.
Or what
I'm doing.
I am very tech savvy with this shit. I can do a lot. I could do some things you wouldn't believe. Now,
yeah, but you haven't even scratched the surface of the capabilities that you have for this software. I mean, you know how genius you have to be to friggin' even just tap into a 2% of what you could really do.
The mixer he wanted to sell me was probably like $800 cheaper than what we got.
Yeah.
And he's like, Lou, what do you want such a big mixer for? I said, it's not big. It's only 16 channels. He goes, Lou, you don't understand. There's 4 sub-channels. Okay, there's 4 powered channels. There's unlimited outputs. There's a digital side of the board. You can go completely digital with the board.
On the
you can put the
screen.
board in another part of the building and run it from a computer.
From a computer right in front of you.
I'm like, what's your point? He's like, you don't need something so big. I said, but I will. And sure enough, you look at the back of that board, guess what? There's only 1, 2 regular ports, 4 empty ones that are powered. So, I mean, these are the monsters right here. The auxiliaries, AUX 1, 2, 3, and 4. I've been learning about the board. These things are amazing.
You still got 8 channels that you could hook things up to.
Pretty much, because the last 4 channels are 9 and 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. 11 and 12. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then there's 2 sub-channels within. So, anyway, finally, I get everything hooked up, and he's like, I will get it all situated. He goes, well, what about phone calls? Phone callers. I said, well, I have the Magic Jack. And this is all you heard. I'm like, hello? He's like, I don't get it. How are you going to use a Magic Jack? I said, well, headphone out to record in, record out, or headphone out to record in. He's like, huh? And I explained to him what I did. He's like, holy shit.
You never even thought of that?
He said, that'll work.
Really?
He said, usually people spend probably $800 to $1,000 to accomplish what you did for $50 with the Magic Jack and a couple wires.
For a couple of wires, a couple of input wires.
I'm like, bro, my cousin's name was Johnny MacGyver. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, I can
call it Enrigan.
Yes, I can Afro-Asian engineer some things. And once I understand the principles of how it works, God, it's limitless what I can do. So, yeah, we're just scratching the surface. So I'm hoping Denise's daughter can teach us a few things as well.
We can learn a couple of things with the board.
Not only that, I want her to get in on the show and help produce some things. Because if that's what she wants to do.
It'll help her experience out immensely.
Right. If that's what she wants to do, she wants to produce, she wants to get into production, whether it be TV commercial, movie production, radio production, whatever she wants to do. We have
broadcast, news,
I've got the whole, everything. We got the whole spiel here, so moving right along, brother. We have that clip that you sent me from this morning.
Nice.
Yeah.
It did come up.
I haven't tried it yet. We're going to try it because every time I try to get some news off of Bay News 9, they don't like it, so they block it. So let's see what they got. Oh, see? What was I to expect?
No.
Nothing.
Nothing?
Yeah. Not a thing. You hear that, right?
I heard that. That means...
That's the broadcast computer telling me I have full sound. Or not the broadcast computer. The other computer telling me I have full sound to the broadcast computer. The line is open... And she's playing, but
she's not going through.
I don't know why Bay News 9 does this to me. I never understood it.
Well,
anyway, go ahead and read the story.
Anyone in the Pasco County area in Newport Richey yesterday, a 23-year-old man is in custody after brutally beating his mother to death and injuring his 2 nieces on their Catherine Street home in Newport Richey. Deputies identified suspect as Jason Rios, and the victim as his mother, Angela Rios. Rios's father, Ernesto, also lives at the house. Deputies say he heard screams this morning. This was yesterday morning, and discovered his granddaughters, identified as Janissa Radzillo.
Yeah, her.
Her.
That chick.
Bleeding, with Rios standing over her with a blunt force weapon. Doesn't identify with a blunt force weapon. It could have been anything, a pipe or whatever. Ernesto stopped his son from hitting her and dragged him out of the house. Law enforcement tried to negotiate with Rios to come out, but he refused to come out of the house. Family members warned deputies that Rios had access to guns and regularly when shooting. They also said the gun was missing.
Dude, that's fucking ridiculous. Welcome to Florida, folks. Okay, let me tell you something. You guys want to come down here on vacation? This is what goes on
Down here?
Down here that you have no idea about.
I've said it many times before. I thought friggin' New York was bad. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you don't hear about that happening in the city in New York because gang affiliated or the murders that happen down there, the drive-by shootings. Because it's like, okay, that's enough. Yep. You know, we heard it so many times before, and we're done broadcasting a drive-by shooting in the Bronx.
The media wouldn't have enough time to broadcast anything else if they covered all of that shit.
All the gang violence
right.
and all the drug
up there,
yes.
like they do down
all
here,
the drug
and
wars.
It's more in your face down here because the way Florida is structured, the way.
Where we are that really doesn't have anything else going on. They got to broadcast basically every little thing.
Right. Clear Channel has monopolized pretty much the cable industry down here in Florida. They own all the wires, all the cables, everything. The only other people you can get is Verizon. That, what is it called?
Fios.
Yeah, that shit. I've heard it's not that good.
Fios.
Yeah.
In my town up in New York, Brookhaven.
Yeah.
They
Crooks. Comcast, right?
No, Cablevision.
Yeah, Comcast.
Is that
it's still
Comcast?
Owned,
It's Optimum.
Still a mother company. Yeah,
it's Optimum Online.
Yep.
They wouldn't let
I'll show you a
Fios.
list. It's all Clear Channel, by the way.
Uh-huh.
It's all owned by Clear Channel.
But the wires already friggin' already ran. All you have to do is get the rights to use them.
Right, but that costs money.
See, the whole entire
And
thing
a
is
lot of money.
the town is getting free cable Optimum Online, so they won't let Fios in because they'll break the contract with Cablevision. So in my town that I was at, I couldn't get Fios.
That's how they monopolize the shit. That's exactly.
But everywhere
how they do
else,
it.
you're allowed to get
Right.
friggin' Fios.
Same down here. Time Warner owns all of the runs, all of the pulls, everything that's here in Hernando County. Not pulls, because it's called a pull. Right, a pull from pole to pole. Say that 5 times fast without
Pull to pole. Right.
Yeah. Replay that in your freaking pipe.
See, they also got AT&T out here also that people have telephone
the
coming
telephone.
in.
Ma
They're
Bell
still
still around.
They're still using jacks.
Ma
Jacks.
Bell is still around, guys. You remember when you were a kid and you saw them Southern Bell things on the house? And
yes.
You had the big phones, and that's still AT&T. Wow. Ma Bell. Yep. Ma Bell bought Southern Bell was bought out by AT&T. Yeah. It's monopolies, bro. I'm telling you, it sucks. Clear Channel, all right, is owned by who? NBC. Yeah. Well, I looked into all of that simply because also iHeartRadio
is owned by the same
Clear Channel. Clear Channel Broadcasting.
I thought NBC, but
NBC owns Clear Channel Broadcasting.
And doesn't Disney own NBC?
That is correct.
All friggin' monopoly network.
Right. Correct.
That's what it is.
Yes. So it's all about the money. Now I can get talk shit on late night TV in a heartbeat. But it's all about how much money we have
to pay.
Pretty much, because that's how you can do it down here. You could pay to put your show on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could wait for your ratings and have it picked up, and then the FCC comes in and says, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that.
Well, see, if we're on cable TV, we really can't say whatever the hell we want.
We can't, and that's why we will never, ever go to FM and AM again unless it's my own.
Have you noticed in the last, we'll say 10 years, we'll say Comedy Central, they play South Park. They used to bleep out the word shit.
Yeah.
They're allowed to say it now. Yeah. They're allowed to say
now it's just a common word.
Whatever they want.
I guess I should put the phone line up, bro. Don't we have a guest calling in at 9?
Is it at 9? Oh, yeah, it is. Steve Janowitz.
Yep.
He will be calling in at 9 o'clock.
Yep. Let me get this phone.
Phone jack. Yep. Magic.
She's not so magic.
She's not so magic. I know how she does it.
Magic.
I know how she does it.
You do. You seen her do it?
She does it well.
She does. For as cheap as she is.
For as cheap as she is. Yeah, she
I'll
does
tell
her
you what,
job really well.
I paid for 5 years on this thing. Oh, we got voicemail real quick. Hopefully it's nothing too risque.
It's not too risque.
You have 3 new messages. Press 1 for first message received Wednesday 9:42 a.m.
Hey, this is Kara trying to figure out how to get a
Message deleted.
That was Kara
Message
when
2
Hayden was here.
received Wednesday 10:04 a.m. Press 4 for the message deleted. Last message received Wednesday 10:10 a.m.
This was yesterday morning.
Today's show hours.
Press 4 for the previous message deleted.
Bruno's
no
mom.
more messages. Press.
I was like, what'd she say?
All right.
Steve Janowitz should be calling.
Yeah.
In about 20 minutes.
About 19 minutes, actually.
19 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
So, yeah.
I'm 1 minute behind.
Easy. We'll have Steve Janowitz on. We will have, let's see, let's go into the events and talk about that.
Dana Arvidsson.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was going to talk about. Well, okay, so Steve's on first, though. Yeah,
Steve's on first, and then...
All right, so Steve's started activism at a young age with his father, started with Special Olympics in middle school, through high school. Oh, my God, man. You know, he's done so much, bro.
He's protested a lot of times for a lot of good causes out there.
You know, he's just one of these people that stands up for what he believes in and for everybody.
And we're not going to say stands up for the little guy because it's
everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah, the picture is interesting because it's when we were working on the old vote. You know,
Amendment 2.
Yep, vote yes on 2 and Amendment 2 and blah 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 blah.
I see. Yep.
And I mean, they're just everywhere. You can see how many people are out there. And there's my boy Steve. With his
You think that's a lot of people waiting to you go to the rally?
Oh, I can't wait.
Rally in Italian, man.
You know, we got to talk
packed.
about that today. What are we going to do?
What do you mean? What do you want to do? You want to bring the camera out there? We're going to.
That's a
no-brainer, of course.
Actually, I might bring 2 because send you off with 1, and then 1 sticks by. Hopefully, we might have a table, bro.
I heard.
Yeah,
Worcester, right?
Yes, we might have a spot to set up with electricity, the whole deal.
Okay.
So that's what. It's a lot.
Are we going to be able to broadcast?
It's a lot to do. I mean, it actually means that we have to night before
get there,
break the station down, the whole station,
not the whole station, only a couple of pieces of equipment,
both boards, the broadcast computer. Okay, I need at least both of these,
the mics,
towers, all the mics. I mean. Or the wireless, yeah, bro. We might as well.
You know, it would be a real.
Pretty much everything has to go, but what's there? Everything that runs the show here on the control table, has to go.
I was going to say the worst part of what would have to be done is breaking down the board.
That's the hardest part.
That's the hardest part.
The hardest part is breaking down the board. And no, actually, the board's real easy to break down because all them wires just unplug and I pick it up and move it out of there.
Yeah.
It's unrunning those wires from where they ran.
I'm saying the runs for those wires to each connection, each input, each output, man.
Man, that's a lot of work.
It's going to be a lot of work.
Yeah, because, But there's an alternative, so we'll talk about it.
We can do it minimally. You know,
we can broadcast from our phones.
But then you only have one mic.
Yeah. That's okay.
That's okay. I'm not like Lord.
Yeah.
She'll love me in the morning.
We alternate who's going around broadcasting, doing interviews, talking to people. You go around, do some interviews. I go around, do some interviews.
See, if I'm going to be holding the camera, the whole entire thing is I'm going to be doing the interview behind the camera.
Uh-huh. You hand them the microphone, you'll have the camera, everything will be broadcasting simultaneously. I'll even go ahead and, see, now you're talking something completely different because I forgot about the cameras having to be set up to broadcast live, too. That is a lot of work.
That's tricky.
Because I actually have to have a power supply, a computer sitting in a backpack with the small monitor that I have mounted to your side. You literally have to have
it's a friggin' radio station in a backpack.
And the way I have to do it is it's just not the time or the place. I mean, if we were going and doing it, someplace where because it's all homemade equipment, bro. To mount everything to you, it's all homemade equipment. It looks a little asinine.
So.
Yeah, I don't give a shit either, but let me tell you something. I got better capabilities of going live than most people.
See, if we have a friggin' a table, we can actually set up some of our equipment so then we can actually broadcast, get people to sit down and talk a little bit with us.
That's what I'm going to try and do. That's what I'd like to do.
I mean, and we can have the camera, but we'll just record.
Well, then
we'll have that in our archives. Save it and keep it.
We'll talk about that off the air. Let's get back to our guests.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, enough said. We're sorry. We get going, but we also want to keep our listeners involved in what we're doing because in 4 days we'll be standing on the Capitol lawn of Florida.
In Tally,
the rally in Tally, and we're going to be broadcasting live for you.
I hope it's a good turnout.
Me too, brother. Me too. You know, I'm going to try and get up on a vantage point, get a bunch of pictures. I wish to God that the drone was working, even though it's restricted airspace. I'm sure.
Duct tape.
Bro, we put it up. We put it up, take 1,000 freaking pictures, and then rip it down. You know, bring it down to the ground.
Could it stand up in the air for a while?
Nah. I bent one of the arms that the prop's mounted to, so there's no stabilization.
I thought it was just a housing.
Nope. It is. It is. The housing is bent.
Oh, it's
so the prop is actually not turning in the direction that it's supposed to. It's not a level, turn. It's wobbly. And it hits the frame. It hits
the whole time.
No, well, yeah, because of that. The propeller is made of carbon fiber, and it hits the casing. It cuts through the casing. It could damage the gyroscopic.
Further damage.
Those son of a bitches got onboard GPS, flight stabilization, full autonomous flight.
Yeah, but you don't want to fuck that up.
Yeah, laser guided fucking sensors so it doesn't bump into things. All the connections are there for that. I got to get the sensors for that, but everything's there. I don't want to,
I don't want to.
It was bad enough damage. It came out of the sky from 160 feet, crashed into a tree, and then hit the ground.
Yeah, you don't want to go back up in the air. God forbid if it drops out, then that's more damage than.
And I have that footage too, by the way. I'll show you that. The crash.
It crashed.
Oh, dude, it sucked, bro. It was so heart-wrenching to watch.
And all you could do is watch.
That's it. I put it in full autonomous flight mode. The software had a bug in it, and instead of going straight up, like I said it to go to 120 feet, safe height, clear all the trees, it went straight up about 20 feet, and then went to its first distance or its first waypoint, straight into a tree. Yeah, because it'll only do straight lines.
Damn, I didn't add another zero. I meant 200, not 20.
No, man. I triple checked it. Let me tell you something, because it was a test flight. So I quadruple checked to make sure everything was set. I had the laptop out there playing the YouTube video. What are you saying? We stink? Oh, playing the YouTube video, so on and so forth. What am I doing, baby doll? You're pointing to things. What am I opening?
That.
My messages. All right, let's see.
Oh, you could have said that to me.
Yeah.
I would have done
it. What message? I don't see a message. Okay, under what, though? My personal or... Huh? Okay. Moving on. 10 minutes, Steve will be calling and going for it. We're going to have him talking about what's going on in Tallahassee, what we're going up there to do. He's going to be talking about SB
528.
528, that is correct. Thank you, guys. A little brain fart there, guys.
That's the bill that we're trying to pass in Florida State right now for legalized marijuana for medical reasons. A lot of people are
fighting for it. Yep, yes. Absolutely, Tim. Thank you. Mama, you cannot be here at all, huh? You got a doctor's appointment. Huh? Right. Dana's cool. She knows. Yep. All right. Yep. Renee calls in. Give her a few minutes. Okay. Renee with the wall.
No, that's Dana.
Oh, Dana has the wall. Who's Renee?
Renee is someone else we're going to have?
Okay, yeah, no problem. Yeah, and at 9:30-ish, yeah, and I say ish lightly, 9:30-ish, we have Joe Exotic, which I'm going to go ahead and give him a call.
9:30-ish or 10:30-ish?
9:30-ish.
Because that's only 40 minutes away.
No, his what's it called?
His Central Time.
Central Time, yeah, which is 10:30 our time.
Yes.
Yeah, ish. Kabibble. Ish.
Ish.
She said it.
She said it.
You said ish.
Ish.
not to be confused with Mish.
Miss America.
Miss America, you're so
Here
beautiful.
she is, Miss America.
You're so beautiful, Miss America. Miss America.
Before?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in the 9 minutes it takes for us to get Steve on the line and everything like that. So yeah, we'll definitely take a break beforehand. Talk Shit Radio Network. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned.
The United States Zoological Association and Team USZA Animal Miracle Network supports the owners of all species of pets. Our mission is to educate and help people of the world become better caretakers of the animals you have chosen to be a part of your family. Through the Miracle Network, we strive to grant last wishes for the terminally ill to meet an animal of their choice. It's through education we can save our wildlife and make a better place for them to live amongst us. Join the USZA today at usza.us and become part of a world loving animals.
Talk Shit Radio is a Kennedy Studios Productions. The opinions stated by various contributors to Talk Shit Radio and its radio programs are not to be considered as or endorsed by Kennedy Studios Incorporated. Visitors are urged to use their own discretion to draw their own conclusions. All information, products, services, and use of this website is for entertainment purposes only and personal use only. Talk Shit Radio Network does not confirm nor deny the validity or accuracy of the information contained within the website or broadcast. Any services or products provided by Talk Shit Radio Network and its host contributors should be used solely for entertainment purposes only.
I didn't believe it.
Neither did I.
No way could you professionally remove unwanted hair, pain-free, and at home.
My thoughts exactly.
Remove my face and body hair without expensive, painful office visits?
Not possible. Great minds think alike.
Until I tried No Pro.
Mm-hmm. Wait, you tried No?
Yes, and it works. I use it on my face, legs, bikini line.
We're BFFs and you didn't tell me about No?
Here, this is my new No Pro. The most powerful No made. Custom treatment levels, less hair in less time, perfect for any skin type. Try it.
No hair, no pain, no time-consuming expensive office visits?
No, and no.
For a limited time, you can try No Pro risk-free. You'll also get the facial kit and a travel case. Get weeks of long-lasting results.
That's it. I'm getting a No.
Great minds do think alike.
Try No Pro risk-free by calling 800-953-2993. 800-953-2993. That's 800-953-2993. 800-953-2993.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 877-229-7271. Again, 877-229-7271. That's 877-229-7271. 877-229-7271.
If you are successful at what you do, whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, a business owner, or you have a great career, you understand the concept of protecting yourself. Well, are you protecting yourself, your family, and your assets with quality term life insurance? Consider these possible rates. A man age 45, non-tobacco user could obtain $1 million of coverage for as little as $75 a month, and this rate is fixed for the next 10 years. We specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. A man age 50, non-tobacco user may be able to obtain $500,000 of coverage for as little as $115 a month. And this rate is fixed for the next 20 years. We have great rates for smokers too. Call the Term Lifeline now. 800-430-1481. 800-430-1481. That's 800-430-1481.
If you're looking for a better way to clean the air in your home or office, you need the all-new Ozone Light. It's as simple as changing your light bulbs. The Ozone Light looks like a normal spiral type of light bulb. It screws in most standard light sockets, but it's not a normal light bulb. It's coated with titanium dioxide. It's completely safe, but this unique coating kills most airborne bacteria, mold spores, and neutralizes odors. Just one light cleans the air in an entire room and lasts 8 times longer than the normal light bulb. If you have smokers, if you have allergies, if you have pet odors, mold, or mildew, you need the Ozone Light. It will wipe them out, and you have our word. If you're not satisfied with the way the Ozone Light cleans the air in your home, simply return it for a full refund.
Call 1-800-380-4095, 1-800-380-4095, 1-800-380-4095, or visit airtimestore.com. That's airtimestore.com.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement, and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method, and to get your free report, go to 28security.com. That's the number 28security.com. 28security.com. Go to 28security.com.
If you're diabetic, this message could change your life. Is your blood sugar out of control even when you do all the right stuff? Are you afraid of diabetic blindness and the risk of amputation, as well as all those other side effects? Well, you should be. Is there anything that could help manage your blood sugar? Nobides is a natural supplement that may quickly and dramatically lower your blood sugar.
My name is Bob Corder. I've been using Nobides for about 3.5 to 4 months now, and in the first 3 months, I've actually lowered my blood sugars from 500s down to 139, and then it dropped to 88 to 93.
My name is Kirsten. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and while taking Nobides, my blood sugar levels dropped from 295 to 115 in just 1 day.
The FDA hasn't evaluated these statements, and Nobides isn't intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. But for many, it's helped drop their blood sugar. So if you've been evaluated with high blood sugar, don't delay. Evaluate Nobides now. Call 800-476-8044 and get 2 bottles free. Just cover shipping and handling. Call 800-476-8044. That's 800-476-8044.
The United States Zoological Association and Team USZA Animal Miracle Network supports the owners of all species of pets. Our mission is to educate and help people of the world become better caretakers of the animals you have chosen to be a part of your family. Through the Miracle Network, we strive to grant last wishes for the terminally ill to meet an animal of their choice. It's through education we can save our wildlife and make a better place for them to live amongst us. Join the USZA today at usza.us and become part of a world loving animals.
Good morning, Vietnam! Hey, this is not a test. This is rock and roll. Time to rock it from the Delta to the DMZ. Is that me, or does that sound like an Elvis Presley movie? Viva Da Nang. Oh, viva Da Nang. Da Nang me, why don't they get a rope and hang me? Hey, is it a little too early for being that loud? Hey, too late.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Talk Shit Radio. In a couple of minutes, we have Steve Janowitz calling in. Almost that time.
Absolutely. And Steve, I got my personal Facebook up in front of me. If you need to hit me up on that in the messenger and get my the phone number to call in. The phone line is open.
And we're waiting for your call.
And we are ready for your call, brother. We're going to talk about some really cool things with Steve. We're going to get another little education here today, and we're going to talk about SB
528.
528, thank you. I'll get that right.
347.
Yeah.
I mean...
Hike. Yeah. Sorry about that. I do apologize. But also, an hour from now, we'll have Dana on.
Dana.
Yep. And Arvidson. Okay, we did get that straightened out.
Yes.
And we'll have her on.
Talking about what they're doing.
In
Tennessee.
And pretty much the same situations over there as it is here. They're fighting for the same shit. So we're proud to have them on Talk Shit Radio. So yeah, and then once we get through with Dana and we move on from there, I'm hoping to have Joe Exotic on. And you know what? You know what? It just dawned on me. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
I can't pronounce.
So we're just going to continue until he tells me. Well, yeah, until he tells me I can use his real last name. I'll continue calling him Joe Exotic because that's how his fans know him.
Well, his last name is Exotic, so that's why
it is Exotic. Yeah, and I looked at it and I went, never mind. I'll ask him.
I don't want to butcher it.
Yep,
understandable.
I listen to people butcher Michelle's last name, and it's like, dude, don't even try. Just call her Michelle Kennedy, all right?
Call her Michelle A to Z.
Yeah, no, Kennedy, just Miss Kennedy.
Oh,
that's it. Just call her Miss Kennedy, and we're good. Because I mean, we've been together 23 years, 22 years, 29 years. It feels like it does. It feels like a long time, bro.
That's not a bad thing.
I've been together with Michelle half of long as I've been alive.
You've been together with her for as long as I've been alive.
Wow.
Dude, do you understand it? That
all right, so Steve, call up now because now he got me feeling old, buddy.
Like when I was born,
Michelle and I were sitting
dating
on the dock going, I love you.
Yes.
I love you. I love you. There we are. Bingo, right on cue, man. See what I mean about this guy? Mr. Janowitz, good morning, sir. You're live on the air with Talk Shit Radio. Welcome to the show.
How y'all doing today?
Excellent. Who are we talking to? Wait a minute. This ain't Steve. Hello?
Why?
Huh?
Why you say the same Steve?
Oh, it just didn't sound like you for a second.
Prank call.
Okay.
I'm like, who is this? Wait a minute. And plus, the number didn't look familiar. So usually I get that right off the bat, Steve. Welcome to the show this morning.
Morning,
sir.
Steve. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
You ready for 4 days from now, brother?
Yeah, I'm looking into that and talking to some people.
You're no stranger to rallies, are you?
No, not at all.
No,
yeah, we're seeing this, bro.
You fight for a lot of people's rights out there,
and for a long time, I see.
For a long time,
yeah, you've been doing this. Let's talk about what this whole thing is, and the bill that you're advocating, Steve.
It's 528. It's introduced by Senator Brandis. He's out of St. Pete.
Yes.
And we've been reading it over, and we're just going over points and then looking for things to that aren't defined or that are vague in it. But other than that, I mean, it's a rather comprehensive and all-inclusive from what it is that we're reading so far. But we've got like 17 pairs of different eyes on it. Everybody's, just highlighting the line numbers.
Those questionable areas.
With
Well, see,
putting it all together and then seeing what we come up with.
Well, see, when we talked to Bill Worshiper yesterday, he said it was a very simple, basic plan. It's very comprehensive, but you're saying that there might be a little gray areas that people might misinterpret?
It's a possibility. I don't know. We have to sit down, find out when the workshops are.
Yes. For the education
and
for
then
this.
Go from there. But I mean, we're in touch with people that helped draft this up, so they most certainly take our calls. I do know that there's other people that have spoken with either representatives or senators throughout Florida. They want to get theirs introduced, but it may be just an amendment or taken and placed into this. So I mean, there's just a lot of things going on.
That's great.
Interesting, yeah, very interesting. Now, Steve, basically, when you say there's a lot of eyes watching and looking, I mean, make no mistake, that's actually a very good thing. That's a very good thing.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Well, yeah. The thing is we're an eclectic group from growers to graphic designs to just somebody who has somebody just works the healthcare side. We've got a couple lawyers, people from United for Care, and then Florida for Care as well. So we're looking out for the best interest of the patients in here. So That's what our main objective is.
No, yeah, for the patients, it's going to benefit them immensely, especially little kids. I mean, that's what I say that we're looking out for. We're looking out for the children who have to go through epilepsy, seizures constantly each day, multiple, you know.
Especially after talking to Bruno's mom the other day, bro.
Yes, Giselle.
Yeah, Giselle.
Yes. My heart goes out to her.
Absolutely. And not just her, every parent that's in that situation. And the fact that you were there helping Giselle out, I want to thank you for that, so she could take that time and be on the radio with us.
I hear that you know Giselle, right?
Correct. Yeah, the thing is, it just made it easier for her, because especially with Bruno up, for her to focus on the interview.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, other than that, he's just a mess. I guess you could say he's up and all over the place.
Yeah, we got a report this morning that he's had some seizures or something last night.
Yeah, he had, obviously, he woke up this morning, and I believe he had, it didn't say specifically, but it's usually the grandma seizure what has him need the oxygen. I mean, it's just standard protocol. The tank is there, so as soon as he starts going in,
yes,
into his seizure, gets the oxygen right away, and then starts the machine.
Wow.
Now, see, what I'm wondering is, do you think the medication that he's on is inducing seizures even more? I mean, for a child to be taking clonazepam, that's a pretty high dosage for a 3.5-year-old.
Yes, but the thing is it's so hard to get them off, because what people don't understand is when you're weaning them off slowly but surely,
yes,
and they start going into seizures because they're no longer getting that seizure medication,
yes,
the parents have to then turn into pharmacist, chemist, doctor, and ER, and figure out how much of that medication that they need to give that child,
yes,
so that child will come out of that continuous seizure.
That's
scary. You don't want that.
So even
weaning, but then it turns around to where it's an even bigger setback, because now you've just upped the dose, and now you have to wean from that stage. You understand?
No, yeah, I understand. It's just basically weaning him off so that he doesn't catch more seizures from coming off of this medication.
Right, because that's one of the warning factors. If you stop it, and that's what the same thing with pretty much anything. I mean, if you look at these artery clogging, unclogging pills and stuff that they have, there's like pretty much, you're going to need to take this for the rest of your life.
Now, do you think that State Bill 528 benefit Bruno?
528? Is that what you said?
Yes.
It's kind of echoey. Yeah. Yeah. It's, I forget what the line numbers is, but it's towards the beginning. It gives a list of ailments specific, and then it goes into details for like pain and suffering and all that. I mean, that works out fine. But then again, as we all know, this can change at any time. Anybody can change anything. So that's why we formed our group, and we're doing what it is that we're doing.
Yes.
Basically watchdogging just in case that does happen and something goes in there and everybody goes, whoa,
right.
Hey,
and
what is this?
Right.
Yeah.
And there is going to be stuff, but, it's just our paradigm is this. We're not looking to sacrifice nor compromise, but so long as it comes within reason.
Yes, of course. Well, because we don't want people abusing the state law, It's for
it's for the patients in reality.
It's for the patients.
Yes, the industry, Steve, and we spoke about it yesterday. The natural progression of the way things are, there's going to be a huge industry all over this, but that's just a natural progression. But my biggest thing is I don't want to lose focus that this is really about medical, not money.
Oh yeah, they're out in California. GW Pharmaceuticals grows the size that when the feds saw it from us,
yes,
we would go to jail. But their grows don't get touched. And then they turn around and they send letters out to all the smaller grows and farms all around and say, look, man, you might as well shut down. We're here, and we're taking over.
We're
Pretty
taking
much
over.
it says in the letter.
See, that's bullshit.
Now, are we also focusing on the hemp bill for residents to be able to grow their own crop here?
I haven't read that. I saw Bill when he published it.
Yes.
At least his. I don't know if there's another one being introduced. So
yeah, just
I'm
Hills.
sure since it's written by Bill, it's fine. But yeah, I mean, if it has that wording in there, that works.
Yes.
I mean, because people can literally start utilizing their backyard for something.
Exactly. Instead of using
useful.
dispensaries.
Well, not only that, Steve, my biggest thing with that whole being able to grow is one point that September Pierce brought up to me is let's face it, you don't have enough money to go out and buy enough raw plant or whole plant to be able to use it properly. There's just there's no way you can make that money. There's no insurance coverage for anything like that. So the only way to have enough is to be able to grow your own, to be able to make the butters, the oils, juice the whole plant, so on and so forth. I mean, me personally, Steve, the whole juicing the plant, I'm so excited about that. I can't wait to start because I know what Whole Foods do to you.
Right, and I know somebody out in Colorado right now that's literally growing a hemp plant, and she pulls the leaves off and juices the leaves.
And, And uses that for her medication?
Yeah, just as a supplement. I mean, it's not going to hurt.
Well, yeah, okay.
No,
Yep.
yeah. It's not going to hurt. It'll definitely help, though.
So where are we at with this state bill? As far as the standpoint of, and I'm going to call you guys the watchdogs, man. As far as the watchdogs are concerned, where are you guys? What's your stance? I mean, how are we looking?
Last Wednesday, they were talking about Charlotte's Web.
Mm-hmm. And that's what the Stanley brothers.
This is in committee, and how they were going to fix that. Brandis, from what I understood, came in and started speaking about 528, and then the question was asked, well, wait a minute, you're saying that this will replace or take care of all this?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, yeah. So they literally tabled Charlotte's Web and started speaking about 528.
Okay.
So I'm sure it's still going through committees, or just getting introduced to the members of the committees, all of that, to really see if it's going to go into play. All depends on the power in the House and the Senate, most certainly the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
And especially since that's getting introduced. Last week there was supposed to be a complementary bill in the House. I don't know if that's been introduced yet, but then again, they weren't even releasing the names of the representatives that were putting their names to it or sponsoring it or co-sponsoring, just due to the fact that they weren't ready for that to be released yet. So the first week in March, everything starts off a little bit slow, and then all depending on what the word from the House and the Senate are how fast it gets put through.
Yes.
And then either tabled if there's supposedly other issues to be heard as well.
So, I mean, we've got hurdles. It's not going to be an easy ride. And even if it does go our way with this, there's still some things to iron out, I would say.
Yes, it's it's a high probability, I'd say, that this is going to get passed through. It's just how, and then it's the patients utilizing their negotiating power, to get what's needed for patients in there.
Now, you don't want to jinx it. You're saying that you sound confident, like they're going to pass it. I mean, I know.
I have the same confidence.
I know. I do
does.
too.
Yeah,
I do too.
Well, it's either that or amendment's going to be put on the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to listen to patients. They already know that.
They'll put it on the ballot for the 2016 election.
Sucks.
Vote. Yeah. And that's a year and 8 months away. Yeah. If they don't pass this.
And in that time, a lot of people could lose their life.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. So far, actually, for me, just parents that moved into Florida thinking that 2 was going to pass is 1 every 4 days.
Are you serious? No shit. It's that high.
Well, honestly, that's just from my resources.
That's unacceptable,
And
to
that's
be honest with you.
that's the ones that I'm able to get a hold of, or that do get a hold of me. Because one mom that moved down here during Christmas, her daughter was in PICU, and
PICU?
What? Yeah, what's PICU?
That's pediatric ICU.
Okay. I was like, huh?
So,
what was she suffering from?
And at any rate, after the beginning of the year, she was moved from PICU to hospice, and finally gave to pneumonia.
Yeah, and this is a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep. 7-year-old Leela. She was going to be 8 in March, and actually, the mom spoke yesterday on the capital of Georgia. She's back up in Georgia now.
Really? I would like to get to meet her.
Here. She'd be here in Palm Beach.
If she's going to be with us up in Tallahassee, I would definitely like to meet her. That would be cool.
You know, that's the thing is, if I do get up there,
Are we going to have to worry about you getting arrested?
Well, if you go up there, are you saying that you're not going to be up there?
He doesn't know yet.
I'm not certain.
Okay.
It all depends on what pans out.
Okay, well, I mean, if it's a ride, bro, I mean, listen, all you got to do is get here. I know that's a hike for you, but we're going anyway, so...
I'll sleep in the trunk.
Right.
Yeah, so...
When you all heading out?
We're doing the morning of, because I'm going to broadcast live, and I'm going to be there probably an hour. There's no maybe about it, baby.
Maybe.
I'm going to broadcast live from the Capitol. I think it would be a really good thing to do and help out. And so I'm going to get there, to give me enough time to get set up and have a game plan and a plan of attack to go in and do things. So Bill offered us a table, so...
that would definitely give us a lot of support and support the fact that it needs to be legalized in the state.
And it needs to be heard. That's kind of why I want to broadcast live.
Yes. And how many people it's going to help.
Yeah. So
I'm looking out for the kids. That's
call me after we're done here, Steve. We'll talk about it off the air. I mean, if that's if that's the case, you know what I mean? If that's all you need and whatever you got to hook up, well, we'll make it work.
Great.
But anyway, so let's get back on track. What else you got for us, my friend? The stage is yours. He hates it when I do that to him.
No question?
Yeah.
Well, I was just supposed to start.
Well, actually, the thing is I kept saying to myself this morning, I got to do that interview.
Oh, man.
Actually, that was going into 1, 3, 5.
But let me ask you something, bro. Do you sit down with a bunch of notes in front of you? What?
No.
Okay.
No, this is all
because mostly and I think it's funny because mostly everybody that I talk to that I schedule a show with, they sit down, they get all of this stuff. Even Hayden, he'll bring a bunch of information, but never once do they look at it, talk about it.
He knows exactly what he's going to say.
Everybody has shot from the hip, and it's gone so smooth. Anybody that I've ever interviewed that it was scripted, you could tell they were reading from a card. And it was just like, you know what I mean? It was just like that. Michelle and I tried doing an episode of Talk Shit, teleprompted, scripted, the whole, and it was horrible, bro. It was terrible. I never even posted it. That's how bad it was.
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, man, every time we interview you've always shot from the hip and you've always dazzled me with the information I've learned. Michelle's coming on mic, so you're up.
Good morning, Steve.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm doing well.
I've been listening. I just wanted to jump on and say hello. I'm going to go ahead and go up to that appointment that I have scheduled. And just definitely get the word out. Everybody, we all have to support one another. There's just too much. All this week, the guests that we've had on, everybody's had a story. And I had the pleasure just a few minutes ago talking to Renee Petro. And so hopefully she'll call in today and talk about the benefits. Because
did you say Renee? When you said Renee, you said Petro, Dr. Petro.
No, it's Renee Pedro.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, how did you pull that one off? But sorry.
And I mean, the main thing is just getting that education out there, being there for one another, and
that's what it's all about, is education. And it'll make people understand how it's going to help so many lives out there in Florida State. I mean,
well, yeah, that's another thing too. Is we have that a committee that's working on that, like a PowerPoint that people can get to their legislatures. Just put it on a disc. Educational information, because I have a lot of people that come to me that say, well, I'm going to become a lobbyist. I'm like, no, we don't need any more lobbyists. What we need is people who are educated.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's role shifts, and since this is going through our legislatures, they need to be educated, and they need to know the facts on, cannabis and hemp.
Okay. Well, so then, all right, well, then, it's just like what we've been talking about. Everybody needs to educate themselves and find out and then form their own opinion. And if you want to do something and help out, and that's the way to help out. And then, because obviously what you're saying is once everybody's educated to this, it opens everybody's eyes, and it might bring the awareness all the way up to the legislation that we need to see and follow along with it.
I got to go, guys. I want to have a good show. Steve, always a pleasure. We'll talk to you later today. And,
yes, most certainly.
And, guys, I'll talk to you later.
Bye, Mish.
Bye, son.
Love you.
That's my girl. All right, so, Steve, now, my biggest thing, and always, is failure, and I always question it. You know me, and we spoke before, Yes on 2 and all of that. And I always have that question, the what if, okay? So now let's say the bill doesn't pass. Let's go into a little detail about SB 528 and saying that it doesn't pass the way we want it. We don't make the impact that we thought we would.
We're hoping.
Where are we at? Once again, where are we at that point?
If you're speaking about the hypothetical that
very hypothetical,
it passes, but it's not as favorable as we would like, then we have to just plan for the next session.
2016, yeah.
And this is up to United for Care. Proceed with the getting it on the amendment. The amendment on to the ballot.
Gotcha.
Because then they'll listen up to the next. But the thing is the constitutional amendment lays a good, solid foundation. That's why I like it there. And then from that, the legislation can be written.
See, I look at it as if they're not going to pass it this year, they're just prolonging the inevitable, because it's going to happen either way, whether it's this year or 2016. I mean, if they do it in 2016, it's going to be until 2017 people are going to be available for this medication for their disease, whether it's cancer, HIV, AIDS, or ALS, epilepsy. These people are in need of this right now.
What you're saying, Tim, is they're trying to just prolong it as long as they can because they know it's inevitable in 2016.
See, why would they want to prolong it? I mean, if it's going to happen either way, it's going to friggin' happen. It's the future, you know?
Steve, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to happen either way. How it pans out, again, depends on what the final legislation written up is.
Yeah.
And then we just move forward from there.
do you think when it does happen, and I'll say it, when it does happen, because I've always known it's going to happen. When it does happen, do you think they're going to drag their feet, putting all the rules, stipulations, chiseling those rough edges off, and getting everything?
Well,
No?
You know, Colorado is having theirs revamped.
Mm-hmm.
The committee or their board got suggestions from, I forget who it is that controls them, but they didn't take most of those suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
So people that really have their eyes open, and if you have a good board that's watching over everything and actually listening to the complaints and seeing where the problems are because they persist as far as rules and regulations, you can have a rather productive system. That's why Colorado wrote it to be revamped if it needed to be.
And actually see results from it.
Correct. Right. But then another thing, too, is there's a lot to go with it. I mean, Colorado is doing good from what I understand. Washington really isn't, because it's put in to the Alcohol Control Board, somebody like that, who has no idea of what it is that they're doing. So that's the main thing. But some of these licensing fees and dispensary fees, or even just them having the application fee, like you and I discussed, Lou.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. It makes it impossible for someone like, Joe Farmer over there to get the licensing and actually do some good.
Do some good.
In all
Help us
honesty,
out.
I see that there can be ways around this, because you don't have to be a big farmer. What if you were considered a contiguous farmer?
Mm-hmm.
So that's another way to look at it as well. So they can write it up any way that they want, but in the meantime, until it's fixed, we can think of other ways to where it doesn't block out the little guy.
Well, now, but to me that raises questions, because you know as well as I do in Florida, Steve, depending on where your land is and depending on how it's zoned, it's either residential, commercial, or agricultural. You could have agricultural land, put up X amount of plants, and say you're a grower, all right? And the government or whoever it is say, oh, no, you're not. Why? Just because you blah, blah, blah. You have to abide by this stipulation, this stipulation, this stipulation. What if I say, you know what I mean? There's those areas that are always going to come up into question. And the only reason I question is because that would be a dream of mine, is to own some agricultural property here in Florida, 10, 20 acres, grow some hemp, grow some vegetables, grow some cannabis, have a co-op, sell the stuff on the side of the road, and peace, love, happiness. But ain't no way, you know as well as I do, that is going to happen. It will not be allowed. Why, though?
Well, but, that's another thing, too, because we were discussing that on Saturday. The whole Department of Agriculture also has the Department of Business and Professional Regulation and a whole bunch of other things. But if anybody's going to handle it, it should be in the Department of Agriculture, even though Adam Putnam, I believe his name is, doesn't want it. There's other ways to get it to where it needs to be, because that's the whole thing. When you have somebody that doesn't have a clue as to what it is that they're regulating, or it's just thrown upon them, then the end results really aren't too good.
And basically what you're saying is like having the FCC regulate heads of lettuce.
Right.
Yeah. They have no freaking clue unless it's going to transmit a radio station across it. You know what I mean? They don't know what the hell they're doing. Yeah. So, no, and that's, I guess that's another one of those questions that can be, brought up. Which agency is going to handle it? Which agency should handle it? And that, that's a good discussion. That brings up a lot in my mind to talk about more of. I'll tell you that. And if, let's say, the USDA, the Department of Agriculture, people who take care of plants and regulate all of that for those laymen out there that are going to USDA, What in the hell that? Anyway, and I know I'm talking about Brooksville Bob sitting out in the lobby right now, scratching his head.
I already had my shots.
Yeah, he's like, I already got my vaccinations, boy. Anyway, I mean, who's going to regulate it, and why, and what about them gives them the knowledge? Because of the nature of the plant, I would say, like you said, the USDA. Because I mean, well. How do you feel about that? I don't know. I mean, let's say they said, well, no, we don't want the USDA to do it. We want the medical association to handle this.
Well, yeah, you can't have the fox watching over the hen house. That's for certain. We know that's with the FDA.
Well put.
So with that, I'd say the USDA doesn't do their job. The inspections don't, it's just a label slapped on, and they maybe drive by, if that, by these factories. So they can't do it. Again, it's all about the departments and the undermining of it. So you'd have to create, through knowledge-based people who would... who know their stuff.
So basically,
accredited people, and then have other people working the field or however, as far as working on doling out national grants and stuff like that.
See, what I'd be afraid of is the pharmaceutical companies, looking over the farms, the
or someone like Monsanto coming in and
just taking over, and putting their own regulations on who can cultivate, who can harvest,
Because we've talked about that too, Steve. I just recently found out who Monsanto is, and it terrified me, especially with what we're trying to do.
Well, they're in and out between Monsanto's and FDA or EPA or wherever within the government. Is absolutely frightening.
No, it is.
Yeah, it's scary.
I mean, who is it? Clarence Thomas used to be a Monsanto's lawyer before he became Supreme Court.
Nice. Yeah. You gotta love it when they have Monsanto cases go through his courtroom. He's probably like, not guilty, Monsanto. You're out of here.
You're gone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Come again.
Nice seeing you.
Yeah, nice seeing you
nice
guys
seeing
again.
You again.
Yeah, exactly. Just leave me the envelope on the way out.
Just leave the brown paper
that's
bag
what
next
I'm
to my
afraid
desk.
of. Right, that's what I'm afraid of and I'll fight against that. I find out somebody's money mongering and not a true caregiver.
Yeah.
I'll put a personal attack against them where, across the radio waves and just personally attack them and I, with every bit of information and tool that I have. And I use tool lightly. It's the information that I gain from people is what it is. And that's what we're talking about today is educating yourself. So.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing with it. It's also about there's going to be the need for testing.
Yes.
So there's going to be that industry alone.
I'm in.
So,
for the scientists and laboratories to be testing.
Are only going to benefit by putting research and development as far as different ways to
guinea pig.
not only utilize this but other plants as well.
I'll be a guinea pig, Steve.
And get paid for it?
I don't care if I get paid for it.
I don't want them doing things on me that's going to make me grow a third arm.
Test away. Yeah, but if it grows a third arm, that other arm can benefit. Could benefit somebody else.
I'm actually looking, not just the rally in Tally, but it seems like there's going to be rallies in the nearest states to us, Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, for the same exact thing that Florida is rallying for on the same date. Are they going through the same process as we are over here? Have you looked into that? I mean, really, I know.
Yeah.
Michelle actually brought that to our attention. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought that was very interesting.
I thought that was very interesting as well.
Yeah, within the next within a day or so, I think Alabama and Georgia are the 9th or something like that.
Yes,
but, they all coordinated and get as many people as we can there.
No, yeah.
Don't mind me. I just got a message from Joe Exotic. He's looking for the chat page and everything. So I'm sending it to him now. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've been working a lot with Joe Exotic, country singer, and what he's been going through out there, and the animal rights groups and USZA, and what happened?
No, I thought I heard echo.
Oh, you made this face like, I'm spread so thin right now, Steve. It's amazing. Running up to Tallahassee, and then I have a wonderful wedding I'm going to be part of here very soon. Performing my first wedding ceremony as an ordained minister, which is just overwhelming. With everything that's going on, and I'll tell you what, brother, we met when Michelle and I were pretty much at the top of the hill, getting ready to stumble down to the bottom, and we hit bottom, and we're on this plateau right now, brother. And I could see the top. I could see it. I definitely see it.
It's in eyes view.
Huh?
It's in your eyes view.
It's in my eyes view. Yeah, definitely. I could see the direction. If you remember, my direction was unclear with the radio station, and it's been people like. And which brings me to the point. It's been people like you, Steve. It's been people like all my guests all week. My lawyer, Michael Minardi, who was on.
All of our listeners.
All of our listeners.
You.
It's been, yes. I learned a lot from Steve, I'll be honest with you, because Steve and I have had, and I'm not afraid to say it, some long discussions about some things that were going on in our lives, and we went through some rough shit, and I had nobody to talk to, and Steve was kind enough to come to my side and talk to me. And he's educated me a lot. So that's why I am where I am at. And it's people like you and everybody else that stood by me, behind me, pushed me forward, and said, don't give up. So, which you're one of those ones that said, Lou, don't give up. And I haven't, brother. I haven't, and I won't.
We're still pushing over here.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
We're also trying to get a word across.
That's why we're going up to the rally and tally. We want to show our support and show everybody that we're not just talk shit. We're really here. We're in it. We're fighting it. I am fighting every day for this cause to save my wife's life. I watch her daily die, and I will just put it that way. Every time she has to take those pills, I watch a piece of her die. So that's why I'm in it. This is personal to me, and I would assume to a lot of people.
Oh yeah, I mean, I say it's for the kids, but it's for everybody. I love Michelle. I would love to see her, feel better.
Absolutely. Steve, you still with me?
Yep, I'm here.
You're researching. I can tell you are.
No, not at all.
Oh, I thought I heard your fingers typing away researching.
I was earlier, maybe, perhaps.
Yeah.
No, I'm focused on what the conversation is.
Yeah. So what else you got going, buddy?
Just helping patients out any way possible.
That's a big thing I want to talk about. Let's not mistake one thing about you. Not only are you an activist, you are a caregiver. To the best of your ability here in Florida.
I was going to ask that. I was going to say, what is his day job?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Right. I do real estate.
Oh, okay. So, right, which is, a tough business here in Florida right now. Definitely. Morning, Joe. Joe is in the chat room. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Morning,
welcome
Joe.
to the show. Yeah, we got about 20, 30-something minutes to go before we have our next guest on. We have Steve Janowitz on the line with us right now talking SB 38, right, Steve?
528.
528. Why am I screwing this up?
528.
I don't know, Steve. I can't get it right, buddy.
And that's for the medical usage of marijuana in Florida State.
Yep.
Right, and then if anybody searches it online, that's another thing. Make sure you put SB 528 2015.
2015,
last year's
yes.
legislation, not the same bill.
Because it's an updated version of the bill, correct? From last year?
No.
No,
this is a new bill. Every year they start out new bills, different issue, but it can have the same number as the previous bills last year.
I understand.
Let me ask you something about that. Let's say, basically in layman's terms, how I would put it, bro. Let's say this doesn't go through. Can we, copy, paste it, rewrite a few things in there, and say, okay, here's a new one?
You would have to wait until 2016 for that to even be looked at.
For that to be possible at that point.
Yeah.
Oh. Ouch.
That's
That's a big problem, isn't it, Steve? That is a huge problem.
Right. Well, another thing, too, is the fact that it usually takes most bills 2-3+ years to get through the legislation.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So that's what happened with Charlotte's Web, which we saw move fast last year. And you can, go online and see how that progressed.
I just got involved in all of this back when that just started going through. January 9th, prior to that, all of this is all new to me, buddy. That's when I stepped into this ring. And that's the way I put it, yeah. So, but now, Charlotte's Web, SB 528, yeah, thank you. That makes that does something to Charlotte's Web, doesn't it? Doesn't it, like, make it like null and void almost to the point?
You mean 528?
Well, yeah, if that passes, SB 528, isn't Charlotte's Web actually at that point just like there's no need for it at that point because of the strands now that will become available medically?
No, not really, not with the hemp industry, because that's what Charlotte Web is hemp. So, yes and no.
Okay.
It all depends on what happens to that law afterwards.
I see. All right.
I had a question.
I don't know if it in 528 it will say it strikes down or, supersede.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
That's
override it.
Right. Yeah. Because the only reason I ask is because now what if I'm see, you said Charlotte's Web is hemp, right? Is that because of the low CBD and the low THC?
Correct.
Oh, so that's how they want to classify
totally different species.
So if you have
actually, out in Colorado, they asked for a reclassification of it to say that it was hemp, and even they sent out on Twitter saying that it was hemp.
So now what you're saying is, let's say we have a medical strand that comes across, and there's so many of them that are high THC levels. I mean, I've read there are some greenhouse seed company seeds that produce strands that are up to 20+% THC in the plant. I mean, so what's that going to classify it as? A super? What is it? Schedule? How does the schedule?
Schedule 1.
Yeah, schedule. What is that classified as? A Schedule 1 because it's 20+
percent THC.
Yeah.
That I'm not certain on. That's another question that needs to be addressed because that's what we were saying as far as the definition of things.
Mm-hmm.
They keep talking about, or one word keeps popping up, medical grade. And then another thing that patients can't have anything but medical grade in their possession. So what quantifies medical grade?
Gotcha. And that's where your organization comes in.
Right. That's just one of the issues that we've found with it as far as definition. But, like I said, everybody's making a list, and we'll put it together, and we'll address it one by one.
So we're just going to have to, roll the dice. This is craps. This is the game of craps. Roll the dice and see what happens. And then I guess organizations like yours, we can only turn to at that point and say, okay, what do we got? Where are we at? And what are we going to do about these questions? Yeah.
Well, that's another thing, too, is because other people want to introduce their stuff into the bill. So that's when we all come to the table and go with what's the priority.
Gotcha.
Because we were also talking about patients protecting their job.
Mm-hmm.
Because if somebody has a job but is a patient and is functioning well and doing fine at their job and then turns around and loses it
because of
then
cannabis
it just puts
use,
them into a hardship. It's like Michigan.
Right.
The Walmart employee who got Employee of the Month and then tested positive and then got fired.
Wow.
And he was a patient. So, and then my thing was, but they have no law to protect them. Not condoning what the company did, but they were within their right.
So we would have to go to OSHA for that, wouldn't we?
I don't know.
That's another question I would have, honestly. Where do we go for that? Who do we talk to? Who makes the rules for that? Because I find that a major problem. As an ex-truck driver, not that I drive anymore, I don't know where I stand with that, because I'll be honest with you, nobody should drive under the influence, but, I mean, let's face it, dude. I mean, you're less likely to have a crash if you're driving down the road all stoned out than you are all freaking, just driving, to be honest with you. You're probably a little more paranoid and a little more aware of your environment. So as a driver, I mean, the DOTs, obviously, hell, they could pull you over and say, here, piss in a cup. You fail a drug test, they'll take you to jail right there.
Whether it's prescription medication or not.
Doesn't matter what it is.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, they take you to jail first, ask questions later.
Oh, yeah. And then while you're sitting there, go over what...
Then they sort it out.
Yeah,
right.
Go over what you got.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I know. I found that out, too, that you guys, truckers, I mean, as far as police can go right into their rigs, no warrant or anything. I was like, what?
Nothing. Brother, let me tell you something.
Get the logbooks, look for your logbook.
That blue light comes on behind you as an ex-truck driver, okay? You want to talk about anxiety. Even if you are clean as a whistle, your logbook looks like Jesus Christ wrote it out himself. That blue light comes on, the DOT are scary, because they'll find shit you didn't even know existed, that they can write you up, take you to jail, do whatever they want. And now, being that I've been out of the industry for so long, I have a buddy of mine, he's told me, Lou, you don't want to come back, trust me. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a scary thing. Okay, let's forget about that industry right there, the trucking industry. Let's talk about the retail industry, this guy, Employee of the Month. Probably a very hard worker.
For Walmart.
Yeah, probably took a lot of pride in what he did.
There for many years.
Was he there for a while, Steve?
Obviously, I guess.
Yeah. So, I mean, how is that justified? Where does that fall in? And there again, it falls in the hands of organizations like yours that you belong to question all of this stuff. What do you think?
Are you thinking like certain jobs? It's
well, him and I have talked about this before.
I got it in my mind. I just can't word it correctly. Certain jobs require your utmost attention.
Different regulatory.
Look at it this way: I wouldn't want a doctor drunk operating on me.
Well, yeah.
That's basically what I.
Another thing too is doctors don't get DUI tests before they go in for surgery either.
No.
Another thing too is roadside sobriety tests are pretty much null and void. They're an absolute joke. They're subjective. As well as, like, Washington now has the whole 5 nanoliters. Nanoliters doesn't prove impairment. Just because, however it is I choose to digest, intake my medication, doesn't mean I'm getting stoned off it.
Gotcha, yeah.
It just means it's taking away the pain or whatever the ailment may be. So there may not be a euphoric effect. Here's an example. Somebody who has been diagnosed with a mild case of COPD and was around people that were doing dabs. So said, hey, let me try that. Tried it. Said, on the drive home, it was just, I could breathe better. I was like, any side effects? I was happy and calm. That was it.
Nice. But yet, the law classifies her driving under the influence, right? Which,
well, but then there would be no reason for, even if there was reason to pull somebody over, it doesn't prove that they're impaired. Just because you swerve, maybe the tires are out of balance, or the front end is out of the line.
You could have leaned over, not to be crude, and it's just my style, it's my way. You could have leaned over to rip a fart and hit the steering wheel with your knee, for God's sake. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? It could have been a million things that you swerved about. You will get pulled over. Hey, look, last night I got pulled over. Got pulled over last night, doing nothing wrong, pulled out of one street, went on to another, drove by a cop who was sitting dark and dormant on the side of the road in the woods, pulled me over for a tag light. No tag light.
Well, that the license plate.
Yeah.
The license plate light.
I handed him the accident report, said, just got rear-ended, sir. Here you go, 3 days ago. Don't have my license on me. Ripped him off my, name, address, date of birth, license number, all of that stuff. He came back. He was nice. But if he would have wrote me a ticket for that, I would have ripped up one side of this dude and down the other. Are you serious, bro? You going to write me because you didn't find anything else? But don't even get me started.
Don't even get me started.
But, I mean, they could pull you over for anything and pretty much do what they want. If he wanted to, he could have done a field sobriety test. I would have failed. You know why? Because I can't do it. My body won't even let me do some of the shit they have you do. Now, especially, just got into a car accident. Guess what happens if you refuse it? You automatically go to jail anyway. Wait, how's that work?
Right.
Let's say
my friend, he was drunk at a bar. He didn't want to drive. Wintertime, below 30 degrees, and he needed to sleep in his car. Car heater on, cop rolled up, your car's in ignition, even though you're in the passenger seat.
Keys are in the ignition, your car is running.
Car is running, keeping the heat on so you don't freeze to death in the middle of the night. This is like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. DWI.
Wow.
But because keys are in the ignition,
the car was running.
The car was running.
Unbelievable. Steve, I want to thank you for coming on the show today, for doing everything you do, taking the time out yesterday to help us out, today to come on the show and speak about what you do. You do know every time, anytime new developments come up, please, hit me up and chat. Let me know you got something to say, brother. We'll get you right on the air. We'll stop what we're doing. Doesn't matter what it is. We're on 24/7 now.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's a rough gig to keep going because, there's only so many hours in the day and so many hours you get to sleep. So
there's only so many of us.
Yeah, there's only 2 of us doing it, but we keep on keeping on. I look forward to and hopefully can see you at the rally and tally. And if I can help in any way to make it possible, don't hesitate to let me know what the deal is. I gotta move along. We gotta get some commercials up. I gotta get ready for our next caller.
Dana.
Yep, Dana's going to be calling in about the National Patients Wall.
Yes.
Which
Tennessee.
I owe her an apology because, like I said, at first I thought it was just another wall that I could post my show on, and she just kindly explained to me what it was, and I went,
"It's not that type of wall."
Oops. I felt like such an idiot, Steve. I swear to you, I was so embarrassed.
Nice introduction.
Yeah, when the light bulb came on.
Introduction.
Yeah. When the light bulb came on and I realized what the National Patients Wall was, here I am posting talk shit, my rants, this, that. She's like, psst, psst, hey, Lou. Look, I don't mind. I don't usually, but it's not that kind of wall. And that's when the bulb came on. Yeah, it was bad though. Michelle's like, Lou, you can't. What are you doing? I was like, oopsie. So, anyway, moving on. In other news. Steve, again, thank you so much for taking the time to call us up. We got so much to do, so much to cover over the next, however long it takes us to get this
However long. We've been running over the time every day.
Yeah, every day we've been running 4 or 5 hours with talk shit because we just don't have the time in the show to cover everything. So, Yeah, and I'm constantly. Good morning, Yvonne. I'm constantly booking more people than we have time for, so that's why we just run it over. So
we got to do what we got to do.
That's it, buddy. To get the message out. Like I said, Steve, thank you very much.
You're doing
Steve
a great
Janowitz.
job. Yeah, you're doing a great job of everything that you do. That you're doing, Steve.
Yeah, definitely. Steve Janowitz. Talking about SB 528 and his work with all the activism he does. Special guest anytime on Talk Shit Radio Network, brother. You know that.
All righty. Good talking with you as always.
All right, buddy. Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
Have a good day. I'll talk to you in a little bit.
Yeah, most certainly.
Alrighty, bye-bye. That was Steve Janowitz. Again, go over. He started his activism at a young age with his father. You know, he started with the Special Olympics in middle schools. Through high school, he organized and raised, an army of tents to either house cooking or participants. I mean, community rebuild projects. There's just
he fights for a lot of good causes.
Oh my God!
He's basically supportive of a lot of different things that people need a voice for.
Yeah. Hey, you make the rules. What's that, Yvonne? I don't know. Yeah, it's there's a lot that he does. It's a broad spectrum, I'll say. Now, real quick, we got some traffic situations going on here. Anybody cruising down in or heading to Tampa, Park Boulevard, 66th Street North at Park Boulevard, reported 38 minutes ago. We have 2 lanes blocked. So that traffic is going to start backing up and backing up. Right now, it's moving across the bridge, the Gandy Bridge, rather quickly. It's going to start backing up real quick. Excuse me. We have, an accident involving a truck at 275 between Floribasca and Jefferson Street, the overpass. That was actually reported 3 hours ago. Looks like coming into 275 on I-4 is where you're getting the slowdown. The only other traffic incident is Veterans Highway 17 minutes ago, and it's just some slowdowns. So, we'll run over.
We'll probably run over.
Now I get what she says. Yeah, we'll definitely run over. So about 4 minutes from now, phone lines are still open. Let me get over to the page and talk about who she is and what she does. And we're talking about Dana.
Dana Arvison.
Yep.
Yes. She is the founder of the National Cannabis Patients Wall.
Okay.
She's also the owner of the Tennessee for Medical Marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
She's protesting to get that legalized over there because they're in the same boat as us right now, along with many different states, many other states in our surrounding area.
Okay.
She's a great activist, basically.
No shit. Cool. So after her, we'll have. Oh, it looks like I think somebody's calling in right now. Let's see who it is. Hey, this is Talk Shit Radio. You're live on the air with Lewis and Tim. Who do we got?
This is Dana.
Hi, Dana.
Hi,
How
Dana.
are you?
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. How you guys doing today?
We're doing excellent. I must say you are as prompt as anybody could be, right on time and before time.
Before
actually.
time. You're 3 minutes early, but that's all right.
Yeah, we like that. Dana, first off, I've been making jokes about it all morning and about how we first met, and I do want to apologize for when I first was accepted into the group for posting on the wall the way I did, unaware of what the National Patients Wall was.
What's the problem?
About. I had no idea. I was ignorant to the fact, and then finally the light bulb came on, and I went, "Oh, I'll stop posting."
Well, actually, we started a separate page now for all current cannabis news from across the world.
For idiots like me, is what you're saying.
Sorry?
I said for idiots like me that just want to post things, right?
Oh, no. We want to further the sharing of education and legislation and what's going on. We just needed a proper place to do it. You were in our support group.
Well, I had no idea, and that's why it just made for a joke that my wife made and said that you better apologize to her because you were in the wrong place at the wrong time. But yeah, no. So moving on. Listen, I really first of all, I want to tell you how much I appreciate you taking the time to come on and speak to us with everything that's going on. Rally and Tally coming up in just 4 days. We're going to be up there in Tallahassee. Talking about all of this, raising awareness. And that brings me to exactly what your National Cannabis Patients Wall support group and everything that you do is all about.
It's not just about Tennessee. It's about countrywide states.
Absolutely. It's national patients. It's about awareness all over.
Well, no, not even national. Worldwide.
Oh, okay.
It started out as a Tennessee project to support a bill here that we had in Tennessee that sadly was shot down. And I was trying to I didn't think it was getting enough attention, and I was trying to figure out a way to really get the word out about the plight of patients here in Tennessee. And I started thinking of my father-in-law, who was the reason I became an activist, and he was a vet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that got me thinking about the wall, the Vietnam Wall, and I thought, well, cannabis wall against prohibition. So that's what started it. And I got many people that wanted to join from other states, and I kept saying, no, it's a Tennessee project. It's Tennessee. And I got to thinking about it, and I was like, they're no less deserving than we are. They're in the same boat. So I knew I couldn't do it alone, because it's a huge organizational nightmare.
Yeah.
I asked a friend, Jennifer Atkinson, if she would help me take it national, and she said yes. So then the National Cannabis Patients Wall was born. And while we're doing that, other countries started to chime in, and they wanted to be part of the wall. And we're like, why not? So now I think we're in 30 countries.
That's unbelievable right there, I got to tell you. It's awesome. It's completely awesome because it's probably grown way past your expectations as fast as it has, huh?
Oh, yeah, exactly. It is. I'm astounded every day. We have 16,000, almost 400 members on the wall in 10 months.
Wow. We have a mutual friend who's registered on the wall. Her name is September Pierce. And yes, and the best way I can explain September is she's just as her aura is as bright as the sun. Everything about her, she's a miracle. She really is a living, walking miracle. We're going to be doing a show with her here soon.
Oh, excellent. She's a sweetheart. Yeah, she's very pleased that she's one of our members.
Yeah.
Very, very happy about that. The National Patients Ball, where you were at, was our support group, and there people can go 24/7 just to talk, to ask advice, to get a shoulder to lean on, celebrate their cancer-free, to share a bad diagnosis and maybe get some help and some referrals in that area.
Right, I see.
And we've recently started our page, which I just told you about, which is all cannabis news, current, worldwide. We also have a study group we recently started where we're cataloging strictly scientific studies only by disease. So that if somebody has a diagnosis, they can go there, they can look up their disease, they can look up the studies, they can print off the study, show it to their family members, take it to their doctor, and have discussion. We also have the bill registry group where we're asking anybody that has any information on their state legislation supposed to. So it's a one-stop shop for everybody around the country to find out what is going on in their state.
Yep. That's awesome. Now, I understand what you're going through in Tennessee is very similar to here in Florida.
Yes, it is. And amazingly, I got a video, which I haven't posted yet, sent to me yesterday, as a matter of fact, from one of our members in New Zealand. And I watched his video, and it really struck a chord in me because his experiences were so much mirrored to mine. And the laws in his country and what he is going through as a patient in New Zealand is exactly what we're going through here in Tennessee.
Isn't that a shame?
It is a shame, and it is a global problem, which is why we went international.
Yeah.
Every patient everywhere is deserving of safe access.
Well, that's what we were talking with Steve about is a
patient's rights.
A patient's rights. And Steve Janowitz, our guest that we just had on before you, and how if this doesn't happen now, so many people, unfortunately, whose name are on that wall will no longer be with us.
Sadly, we had to add that. Our virtual wall on our website, current patients are listed in black. Pediatric patients, 18 and younger, are listed in blue. Patients that have deceased are listed in red. Have a V notation, so we know that they're a vet, because the vets are very near and dear.
Yes, absolutely.
Sadly, we've had to add an asterisk to that listing, the people that we have lost while we have been working the project.
Yeah, and you hate to hear that, always.
Yeah,
because
sadly, we lost our director of research 3 weeks ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes.
Yeah, my condolences for that.
Absolutely.
Jesus.
Yeah, that really, it was unexpected, and we really missed Cynthia, and it really took us all aback. But, it really brings it to heart how fleeting life can be.
It brings it to heart, brings it to home.
Yeah, what brought it to home.
And you know, you really got to do what you can do while you can do it.
No, exactly.
Yeah, what brought it to home for me is you know, going to Michelle's doctor visits with her, listening to what the doctor's telling her. If we don't do this, this is the outcome. If this doesn't happen, this is the outcome. Watching all the pills she takes, watching her, just like I said to Steve, die daily taking these pharmaceuticals. And unfortunately, right now, we are not in a position where we can do anything else because we are in fear of retribution from the law here in the state we're in. And I'm sure you deal with it there in Tennessee as well. If you're fighting the same fight almost, it's the same thing. There's nothing you can do. Your hands are tied. You just sit back and you pray to God every night that person that's near and dear to you that you're fighting for wakes up the next morning and that legislation's eyes open up and they see and they allow this to happen.
And one of the other things we're doing on the well, and it's very true, I lived in Florida for many years.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in Florida, I was taking care of my father-in-law who passed away from colon cancer. And I was on 22 pills a day in a fentanyl patch.
Oh, fentanyl also, man.
That's bad.
Fentanyl, that's a crazy painkiller.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I know nothing about prescription pills. I can't even take a Tylenol without getting sleepy. So
it's a patch that has fentanyl gel in it, and it absorbs into your bloodstream, into your body. And it
rather quick, I would say.
Well, no, it takes around 48 hours for it to even take effect, but it's a strong opiate, really strong.
Cancer patients and
cancer
extreme
patients.
pain patients.
Like it's so bad that the patients who are prescribed it, they have to sign a form stating that it's used for them solely.
Wow.
Because
because there's such a black market for it, people will take it and they'll put it in a syringe and they'll shoot it up.
They're using it for a syringe. They're using it as an opiate. They're putting it in heroin for the black market street value sale.
Wow.
The patch I had was 100 times stronger than heroin, yes.
Holy
shit. And looking back on it, I don't even know how I functioned, but I did.
I
never want to go back to those days again. It really cost me dearly with my relationship with my daughter because I just wasn't there.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I can understand.
Yeah. You know, that I watched Michelle when we first started going through all of this, taking certain pills because, you know, as I say, the doctors, they're just practicing. Remember that. They have practices. They're just, that didn't work. Let's try next. New drug, 20%.
But the problem with that is people are getting liver cirrhosis of the liver from chemotherapy. They're getting compromised organs from the medications that they're taking. I have 2 medical conditions now that I never had before I started taking all the medication.
Yeah, we spoke about that yesterday, talking to Bruno's mother. Michelle, we have complications from medication she's on that we're looking at now. Yeah, it's a horrible thing that's going on. My wife, Michelle, is on the wall. She's the one that set this up for us today to have you on, so I do want to give her the thanks and the due credit for doing this for us.
Many props to her, yes. I'm very appreciative of this opportunity. I really, truly am. I cannot thank you all enough.
Thank you for joining us, really.
Absolutely. It's you that we thank, and I thank you for all the listeners that are tuned in for the reason of what we have going on with this whole situation. What you do is just it's recognizable, and it deserves people to know about. You deserve for people to know about what you do, and everybody that we have on. You know, everybody's in this doing their part. It's all about the education. It's all about the awareness, and the awareness that you're bringing is amazing. So, talk to me more about everything that you have, because I see I see so much on the event page that we have. You know, it's not just the wall that you're doing, Mothers for Cannabis in Tennessee, Tennessee Medical Marijuana, MMJ for Tennesseans, and the National Patients Wall.
DC, the International Women's Cannabis Coalition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm real busy.
Yeah, I'd say you got your hands full.
Most of my time is on. It really does take a huge amount of time to organize, and I try to interact as much with our patients as possible. We want it to be a very welcoming place. We want people to go, I can go to the wall. I know I can find somebody there to talk to. I know I can find somebody there to help me. I know I can find resources that I need.
Right.
One of the big things that we're doing, when a patient registers, we have a little registration thing, and when they fill that out, we are capturing all kinds of data. Illness hotspots around the country. Here in Tennessee, we have a particular area
Nice.
that is extremely prevalent for a rare type of cancer. So we're identifying places like that around the nation, areas of particular economic need, basic illness stat, how many people have this, how many people have that illness, what strains they're using.
Well, with that, targeting each illness in specific areas of the country, we could target where their diseases are coming from later in the future to find out what is actually sparking the origin of their cancer, whatever the case may be, whatever disease they might have.
Exactly, and that's one of the reasons we put that in our registration.
Wow.
We're also getting what strains they're using, dosing information. I hear from our legislators here, well, we don't know how to prescribe it. We don't know how to dose it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
meaning...
I just want to say, well, contact any doctor that's been prescribing it for the past, year or 2 years.
Right.
And they'll be able to. We're also gathering information on the doctor-patient relationship. We're adding societies and foundation contacts. And we started a new Unity just this week, a new Unity program, where we're inviting anybody that has a group that is pro-cannabis. Please contact us. We have a list that we started on our website.
What's that group's name?
In their state.
What is that group's name? Go ahead and get that out there.
Right, their contact information, who their legislators are, and all of this information is updated with each new patient, and it is all automatically put into charts and graphs that are easily understandable. You can print them out, and you can take them to your doctor. You can take them to your legislator.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
Oh, hey, these are the stats. You say we don't have studies? Look, we have tons of studies, but the U.S. doesn't recognize them because they're not U.S.-originated studies. This is our answer to that. You want studies? These are real people from all over our nation with hundreds of different diseases, and they're telling you right here what works for them and what they need.
And this is data that's already proven that we know,
is effective.
Right. So now it's just a matter of showing them the actual data, the hot spots, the who, the what, and the where from the journalist standpoint of view.
Exactly, and that's what we're attempting to do, and everything is online. Everything is accessible to everyone. Because the more people that have access, the more people can share it, the more people are educated, and the sooner we get this done.
Yeah, absolutely. It goes for a lot of scenarios. Education is the key. Without it, that's why I don't speak about a lot of things until I know what I'm talking about. And I have people like you, Dana, and people like Steve Janowitz that we had on, my lawyer, and so on. The list is long, to thank for the knowledge. The group that's
political,
absolutely,
citizen-wise, nationwide. We're speaking to you outside of our state,
and I'm not talking about just the people needing that knowledge, like you said, and what this data is proved to be invaluable is to inform those who write these bills and write these laws and make it happen for us. So that is really unbelievable and really cool information.
I found out last year during legislative session that our representatives are woefully uneducated. I can tell you we knocked on doors. They got study after study. They got phone calls. And when it came down to testifying, the questions that they asked, it was obvious they hadn't read any of the information they were given. Mm-hmm. So you can give them the tools, but you cannot make them use them, sadly.
They tossed it in the to-do pile.
Right, yeah. I was just going to say.
They didn't want to look at it.
Yeah.
One of the legislators actually spouted some facts from 1988, and it was all I could do to stay in my seat.
Good old Reaganomic days.
And one of them said, well, didn't we give you Marinol? We gave you Marinol.
Yeah, my dog gives me dog shit daily. It don't mean I'm going to eat it. I'm sorry to put it that way, Dana. I really am. But Marinol, from what I've learned over the last week, is useless.
It's not very efficacious for most patients. It's a synthetic. It's never going to work as well as the natural whole herb.
Correct, yeah.
Never in a million years.
Key word, what you just said, synthetic. It's not the real deal.
Right. So the Tennessee legislator said, yeah, we gave you Marinol. Well, the thing is, we have over 6.5 million people in Tennessee. 2.1 million plus are on TennCare, which is the Tennessee healthcare program. Marinol is not covered on the TennCare program, and it is over $600 a month. The
How
average
convenient.
income for a TennCare patient is $700 to $1,200.
It's about $1,200. Didn't we just find out it's about $1,200 a month for Marinol down here?
I believe.
Yeah, we just found out with Hayden Falk the other day.
Yeah, on Wednesday.
If he was to use Marinol, it would cost him over $1,200 a month here in Florida for a synthetic.
And it's probably out of pocket.
Yeah, it definitely is out of pocket because I don't think that would be classified as an insurance, medical benefit.
And that's one of the things I think that, this whole subject is so multifaceted, and that is one of the things that I think we need to work on as well. If you are a medical patient in a medical state and it is a prescription, it should be covered by insurance.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. You know how many people who would actually be able to afford their medication in different states instead of paying out of pocket? Because of the taxes also. The taxes are high in every single state that has legalized medical marijuana.
It was interesting. We had a hemp bill in last year and the medical bill, which they shot down. They voted in the hemp, which was taxed at 7%.
Mm-hmm.
We have no hemp processing here in Tennessee, not one factory. So I just don't think that was a great idea. And it also excluded us from doing outdoor medical grow for the patients here. So it's caused a lot of problems. The thing I find interesting is that if you added up all the tax to the grower, the distributor, and to the patient, which they were taxing at 9.75%, the total tax rate for medical cannabis proposed last year was 39%.
Wow. Just proposed. That's just a proposed percentage.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Where do you guys stand over there in Tennessee about legalizing medical marijuana?
Well, right now, we've got a few things going on.
Yeah.
I've heard that NORML is doing a referendum on cannabis prosecution for Davidson County. The thing I find interesting, and this is something we want to get in group too, that I was not aware of myself until this last year.
Mm-hmm.
In Tennessee, we no longer have a statewide citizen initiative, but we have county and municipality initiative. So we have a great, this here, Steve, and he is working on that here in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
He's also with Nashville Now. Of course, he's a wall member.
Okay.
And, of course, I'm helping him out with that. It's a grassroots effort for county and city citizens initiative. So we're hitting them with that. There's rumors of a decrim bill getting put in. And Sherry Jones, who was the sponsor of our medical bill last year, is working on the language of the bill right now.
Okay.
And apparently Senator Kyle will be co-sponsoring that bill in the Senate.
So he will be proposing that bill in the Senate?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the bill is going to say. Like I said, she's still working on the language of that bill. But, yes, he said that he would back the bill. So we will have a bill in play from Sherry Jones and Senator Kyle.
Now, will that bill be able to be voted upon in 2016, I think, election? Or are they effective a little earlier than that? Affect that a little bit earlier?
Yeah. It'll actually go, if it makes it through the House,
yes.
It has to make it through the House here, and then it has to make it through the Senate.
Okay, I see.
Now, the year before last, we made it to Senate and were shot down. Last year, we didn't make it through House.
Wow, it sounds like they just took the same people that were sitting in the Senate in Florida and just sat them over there real quick without anybody seeing.
That is one of the most aggravating things. It just makes me want to scream. Sadly, almost every single representative that voted us down last year got voted back into office this year.
Well, let me ask you something about that, because I ask every one of our listeners, every one of our guests, what do you think about that right there, especially being that we have a 90% reelection rate and a 10% approval rate? How does that work?
I'm going to be perfectly blunt here. I don't think people are paying enough attention, and I think people rely on the other guy to do it for them.
Yep, and it's all about going back to open your eyes, educate yourself. Yep.
Safe access for everybody. We have got to pull together. We have got to get in the front line. You know, we've asked politely for 70 years. We have knocked on doors. We have made phone calls. We have said, please, 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 please. It's not working. We have to change our tactic. We have to be a united front. We have to be loud, and we have to get to the point where we're so powerful they cannot shut us down.
And Dana, when you say we, you mean we the people, the actual citizens of this country, of this nation.
Yes, that's who I mean. Because they're not going to do it for us.
Correct.
We have to do it for ourselves.
There's nothing for them to gain from it.
Exactly.
So therefore, it's going to be up to us, is what you're saying. And that was what I was talking to Steve about. A peaceful revolution through due process, setting limits for terms in Congress. I could go on. I mean, I could do a week's worth of shows about the things that we need to change in government that would benefit
the people.
The people.
Yeah, and it's the people. We're going to have to pay attention. We can't keep voting in the same people that keep the status quo. We just can't keep doing it and expect change. That's foolhardy. That doesn't work.
That's the definition of insanity.
I'm sorry?
It's the definition of insanity.
Yes, it is. Pretty much like prohibition. You cannot regulate somebody's conscience, morals, or values.
No, you can't, because
it will work.
Yeah, no, it won't. I mean, eventually the people are just going to stand up and you say, you know what? Pfft, nah. No matter what you say, nah, we ain't doing it. To the government, I mean. We ain't doing it. It ain't happening. What happens if everybody just says, you know what? We'll fix your ass. No more taxes for you.
Wouldn't that be great?
But there's too many people. The problem is, the problem with making a stand that powerful is that there's too much fear from the people. They fear our government too much. If we open their eyes as much as our eyes are open to them, that it's a verse from a movie. We're mad as hell and we're not going to take it anymore.
You reminded me of a speech I did in D.C. a couple of years ago, and I was scared to death because it was the first time I'd spoken publicly in forever, and it was in D.C. for God's sakes.
Mm-hmm. Very intimidating.
Yeah. I got up there and I said, I'm kind of afraid. I said, but I've come to the conclusion that my fear does not count. My fear does not matter. What matters is that man over there in a wheelchair that can't walk and is in horrible pain that could be relieved of his pain with a little bit of cannabis oil.
Thank you.
That's what matters, not my fear.
Thank you.
That child over there having seizures, she's what matters, not my fear. And that's where we have to be mentally in this country.
That is my fight, Dana, and exactly what you say. It's not about me. It's not about getting high, and I've been saying this for a while now. It ain't about getting high. It's not about hanging out. It's not about anything other than the patients. This is personal for me. I love my wife to death. I gave up a career driving a truck that I was very good at because I could not stand to be away from her. I don't want to lose her. And if we do not get any of this done, I am going to lose her.
Good morning,
and that's why we
Dana.
have to keep on fighting. And I really appreciate what you're doing because people like you, me, people in the group, my wonderful administrative staff, people with voices, we have a responsibility. We are responsible for speaking for those that do not have a voice. Those that, don't have the technology to get on the internet, don't have the computer, are too ill, and can't speak for themselves. It is our place to speak for them.
Right, and not everybody has an outlet like I have right here on Talk Shit Radio Network to broadcast to as many people as we do get out to. Now more than ever, more people are listening now because of people like yourself and everybody that's fighting with this. We've got Michelle back in the studio now. She's back from the doctor.
Good morning, Dana.
Hi, honey.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I hope your appointment was good.
It was ultrasound, so we'll find out in a week or so what the results are. But I came straight home so I could come and check and see how you were doing. I hear you're doing great.
Oh, well, good. I appreciate that.
And
I'm enjoying it.
We got to get the word out, work together, and help the patients that are out there. I mean, go ahead.
That's really what it is all about. It's the patients. I have personally seen what cannabis can do with my own eyes, my own hands. I've seen it in a variety of applications, a variety of ages of people, firsthand knowledge.
And that's why it was important to get you on this week, because with the National Patients Wall, you're all over the place. You're not just limited to this state. You're everywhere. And a lot of people will get to know of the wall and put their names up there and talk to each other. And that's what this is what
it's all about. Unity, education. That's basically what it is. Sticking together. Fighting for what's right and what as Americans should have the right.
Fighting for those who don't, like Dana said, have the ability to fight.
Exactly.
The unity.
Right, and we started something else this week, which we hope people will really use. We started a volunteer network by state.
Mm-hmm.
And what we did is we set up by county every single state.
By county.
Wow.
Not by state, by county.
That's cool.
So, when you get to Texas, there's like 3 pages because there's 200 in some counties.
Yeah.
So you have to look for your county.
Oh, I know all about Texas. It's 917 exits going across 1,026 miles.
Oh, yeah, it's a big state. They've got lots. They have the most counties of any state in the country.
Yeah.
But you can go there and you can click your county, and then you can see what other activists are also in your county. Now, whether you choose to contact them and work together, that's up to you. But the hope is that's what people will do. They'll go, oh, look, I got 7 other people in my county. Maybe we can get together and do something.
Right,
Exactly.
which is what we're talking about with the fear of the people. We need to alleviate that fear so everybody can come together. If you arrest one of us, you have to arrest all of us. Not literally sense. Michelle just made this face like, yikes. You know what I'm saying?
We're talking about working in numbers.
Yes, 3 Musketeer mentality is really what it needs to be. All for one, one for all. It's the only way this is going to work.
I mean, we're going up against Goliath, basically.
Yes.
The government, is like Goliath in a lot of people's eyes.
I can't sit here and advocate for everybody and everybody go, yeah, what he said. And then when it comes down to it, you hear crickets when I'm looking for, the support. It's not going to work, Dana. We need the unity. We need people like you to say what they mean and mean what they say. Excuse me,
and act on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Good
morning, September.
Oh, good morning,
Yeah,
September.
and I will say that, and myself aside, your activists need your support.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they ask you to share a post, please share the post.
Absolutely.
It takes like seconds of your time.
I'm thinking about opening up one of my walls that I have, one of the pages that we have. We have Talk Shit. We have Talk Shit Radio Network. And we have Kennedy Studios. Now, I'm trying to take the radio show and everything we do with the radio show, obviously, over to Talk Shit Radio Network. What I'm thinking about doing is if I could successfully do it, I'm going to open up the page Talk Shit to everyone, to post everyone and anything, to use that page in its entirety, to be able to talk shit. So,
well, there you go.
Yeah. So we're working on that. As long as everybody follows us over to the other page, which we're working on the posts and everything for that, and that goes for things like what you have too as well, Dana. I mean, we have a lot of people that listen to us that might not know about your wall and things of that nature. There's a huge following out in the West Coast, thanks to September, thanks to the list is so long. We've got Old Wise Man that's shared the page out there. There's just so many
everything's
people.
All right with him.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him in a while.
I hope everything's all right with him.
And we haven't touched on this yet. Another reason we're collecting patients' names is our goal is 25,000 patients, 8,000 photographs, and an actual portable wall, which will be put up in D.C. that will be over a mile long.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
great.
great.
Excellent. My wife just signaled me and said that she's on that.
So everybody's that you have in the wall now, once you hit that goal is when the virtual wall will go up?
Right. We have 16. Not all of our members are patients. We have a lot of people that just support the work we're doing. Right now, we have around 3,300 actual patients that have signed up. Like I said, the goal is 25,000. At that point, that will be 500 patients per state, and a wall for each state.
Dana, I think at the responsibility of the show and what we do here, I think it's time to take Talk Shit Radio on the road to help raise awareness town from town.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it, tossing it around, trying to put the logistics of it together. It's going to take a lot, I'll tell you that. But I really want to do it. There's 2 causes that I fight for now. We're getting ready to have our next guest on, Joe Exotic. He was on CNN last night. He's a animal conservationist, animal preservationist, animal activist, so on and so forth. So I was thinking about, raising awareness for both causes, because I mean, it's all just a big thing. It's all about information. Dana, do you have anything else that you want to add? I mean, do you have the plugs that you'd like to give for all these sites? Are you able to do that right now? Because I'd love to have you shoot them out there, and we'll have Timmy and Michelle put them up on the wall. Myself, we'll go ahead and repost everything. But I'd love to have you plug your sites again and what you're doing.
Well, great. We actually do have our own website, and it's www.ncpwall.org.
I just posted that up on our wall.
That was probably that notification you got.
I've been sitting there reading through your whole entire wall. I was looking at the patient's pictures. I was just basically reading everything that was going on in your wall.
Oh, it's a pretty busy place.
Oh, yeah. It is a pretty busy place. You got a lot going on.
Group. We have Twitter. We have Google. We're on YouTube. We're kind of just like everywhere.
No, yeah. As many outlets as you could possibly get, to reach the people, to spread the word.
That's just it.
Dana?
We're trying not to leave any stone unturned, because the more avenues we have, the more avenues we have of reaching people.
Exactly.
And sharing education and sharing the truth, and working with our legislators and getting them to change the laws to give us safe access.
September just asked me to ask you how people would go sign up for the wall.
You can just plug in the National Cannabis Patients Wall in Facebook, or you can go to, it's a long address, www.facebook.com/group/NCP-Wall.
There you go. For anybody who...
our support group.
Right, who wants to go and sign up for the wall. Dana, thank you so much for calling in, taking the time. And I will extend to you what I extend to everybody. Something comes up, you need it to be heard, you need us to get things out there, give us a call.
Or you just want to call and say, hi, Michelle.
Absolutely. Yeah, give us a call. That's, I just put the number in the chat. It's 352-556-1321. Joe, if you'll give me 1 sec, we'll get you on. Dana, anything. It doesn't matter. You, like Michelle said, you want to call up, say, hey, how you guys doing? This is what we got going on. See you later. Bye. Thank you.
And definitely, we will be promoting to get to the goals that you need to get to, so we can have the virtual walls. You and I will still communicate.
Oh, yes. And Lou and Tim and Michelle, I really, really greatly appreciate the opportunity you've given us here today.
No,
and we appreciate you.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Mama took the words right out of my mouth. Where it's not about us. It's because without people like you, I have nothing. I have no content.
I'm just a little woman sitting on a mountain. This would not be if it weren't for all of these wonderful people working together.
Everybody's so modest.
Of the wall. It's not so me. Humble. It's all of us.
Everybody's so humble. It's. Listen, you guys. Thank you again for everything you do. Your partner. I know you had mentioned you have a partner in this, right?
Well, Jennifer Atkinson was the co-founder.
Right. Yep.
We have Vicki Anderson, who's my assistant director and graphics director, who without we would not have all the avenues we have. And we have a great, great, great admin staff, which we're also going to be building on. And we're also looking right now, real quick, and I know I'm running out of time, but we are looking for state chapter leaders.
Really?
So keep that in mind. Yeah, we're going to go do a leadership in each state.
Okay, well, give me a little spiel together. Send it to me. I'll get it up on the 4 pages, the 3 pages that we operate on Facebook. I'll get it up there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Not a problem.
Dana,
not a
thank
problem.
you.
Thank you very much. Again, you have a wonderful day. Call us anytime you have any more information or need to get a message out.
I will do. Thank you all so much, and you all have a wonderful day, and I really appreciate your listeners listening. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
So much.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, I cut her off. I gotta wait. I do that. I do that a lot.
It's a 30-second delay, too.
No, I know. And it's
in your head.
30-second delay, yeah.
In his head.
I got a 30-second jump start. Joe, give me 1 sec. Let's get a few commercials up here, and then we're going to move over and shift gears, and we're going to get to Joe Exotic, everyone. I know that we have a lot of people waiting to hear from this man because he was on CNN last night, and I'm sure he's got a few things to discuss. So without further ado, let's get some commercials on, and then we're going to move on to Joe Exotic. Stand by, Talk Shit Radio Network, everyone.
Stay tuned.
The United States Zoological Association and Team USZA Animal Miracle Network supports the owners of all species of pets. Our mission is to educate and help people of the world become better caretakers of the animals you have chosen to be a part of your family. Through the Miracle Network, we strive to grant last wishes for the terminally ill to meet an animal of their choice. It's through education we can save our wildlife and make a better place for them to live amongst us. Join the USZA today at usza.us and become part of a world loving animals.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom150.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom150.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom150.com. Go to freedom150.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom150.com. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-518-1300. That's 1-800-518-1300. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-518-1300 for details.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-441-3678 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-441-3678 to take your call now. Call 1-800-441-3678. That's 1-800-441-3678. Again, 1-800-441-3678.
The United States Zoological Association and Team USZA Animal Miracle Network supports the owners of all species of pets. Our mission is to educate and help people of the world become better caretakers of the animals you have chosen to be a part of your family. Through the Miracle Network, we strive to grant last wishes for the terminally ill to meet an animal of their choice. It's through education we can save our wildlife and make a better place for them to live amongst us. Join the USZA today at usza.us and become part of a world loving animals.
Hey, welcome back to Talk Shit Radio Network, everyone. You're listening to Talk Shit Radio. This is TGIF, the Cannabis Week. We've been talking all week about what's going on here in Florida and Tennessee and all over the nation, as a matter of fact. We've had one hell of a lineup of guests. And to top it all off, I'd like to introduce my next guest. Joe, go ahead and give me a call. Joe Exotic is going to be talking about what he's got going on out there at the zoo and the little interview that we had on CNN last night, which I recorded and going to replay later on today. Joe, the number is 556-1321. And you know, when I do that, I always forget that we have that 30-second delay. So I sit here and I'm like, okay, but I forget they're still not hearing it yet. You know what I'm saying?
They're not there yet. Oh,
Right.
We didn't get it yet.
And then it takes a few seconds to dial and phone. So I'm always like,
exactly.
I got to remember that 30-second delay. So, but and right on cue, buddy. Joe, welcome to the show, buddy. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning, Joe.
How are y'all doing?
We are doing excellent. I want to thank you for taking the time and calling us up, brother. It means a lot to me to have you on the show. I know your listeners have been sitting by, very patiently, letting us go through our spiel here and waiting to hear from you. Without further ado, my friend, what do you think of last night's show?
At first I was starting to worry and panic because he kept trying to poke, is it fair to have the animals in cages? Are they happy? Are they healthy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But overall, after I saw my piece on there, I was real pleased with my segment because they were nice enough to not edit me out.
Mm-hmm.
They let me explain, what was going on. And they weighed, what's fair for a private zoo against a big city zoo like Detroit Zoo. I was kind of disappointed with the elephant sanctuary pause at the end.
Yeah.
If you really listen to that guy, we should all stop breeding, okay? And we all know that the animals are all depleting in the wild. Most of them are extinct or endangered. So a sanctuary like that has that kind of an outlook is for total extinction, which is absurd.
Well, yeah, because they believe that we're not going to breed anybody, and I don't think he realized the impact of what he said. What happens when all your animals are gone, buddy? If you have those kind of beliefs, does that mean you're not going to take in any more animals? Because if you follow your beliefs, that means you're not going to take in any more animals.
Yeah, that's right. And if you're not going to breed anything in captivity, which was his belief,
mm-hmm.
What the hell are we going to do in 50 years when we got no animals?
I was just going to say the same thing. Where did the species go? Do we sit back and watch these archives of shows and go, maybe we shouldn't have done that?
The only thing that they kind of touched on last night, but they really didn't explain themselves very well, is, you see AZA zoos like the Detroit Zoo pulling the eggs, incubating them.
I didn't like that.
They have no chance of getting the natural bacteria from when the mother regurgitates and feeds them the first few times.
Yeah.
So they're doing the exact same thing that they all bitch about private owners doing, and that is hand rearing animals. And the reason that we hand rear animals is for education and to make them safer in captivity.
That was that was one of my biggest things, is the way they did that whole piece, Joe. Because and like you said, and I didn't even know about the enzymes. I completely forgot about that. I thought it as a more of a social interaction thing. I mean, what do? You isolate these animals. You look at those animals. Look at the gorillas for first and foremost. I don't think. I mean, how am I trying to put this? The isolation that they go through from the day to day, as opposed to where they might get the interaction with the people at other places. I just don't think that's healthy for them to be taken away from their mother. And I mean, listen, I'm all new to this, but I mean, as soon as I saw that, I was just like, hey, whoa, wait a minute. I don't know about, that you take me away from my mom, that might cause some social problems later on down the line.
Well, the whole idea, especially, because I specialize in tigers, the whole idea is to allow them to nurse for the first few days so they can get the bacteria and the antibodies from mom, and then pull them before their eyes open, so when their eyes do open, you are mom. And it has a lot less effect on them than if you let mom raise them for a couple of months and then rip them away from the only mom they had. And if you watch very many of my videos that I put out, do you ever wonder what love can do with the USDA about them confiscating your animals? That show last night proved the very fact. They moved the elephants from the Detroit Zoo to the sanctuary paws, and they died. I mean, animals have hearts and souls, and they get used to the human interaction. They get used to their caretakers, and you take them and throw them in a non-open to the public facility is like putting you in solitary confinement.
That brings me to Tony the tiger. The whole piece you did on that, I replayed all the audio to it and everything. That was the perfect example right there. Tony was in his environment. He was doing fine. They wanted to rip him out and put him someplace else. I mean, what you did with that.
Would be dead in 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, they don't know how damaging it could be for culture shock, being taken out of your home and placed somewhere else.
Exactly. It put a child in the same
situation
of being ripped from foster home to foster home to foster home. They grow up with an attitude. They hate the world.
Yeah.
They're lost in society. And it's the exact same thing in the animal world. You got all these states that are pushing ban laws and making it illegal, taking the animals away from the only place they know. And they go through a depression time. It's horrible that the animal rights people and the politicians even support this.
It's like I said, I'm new to all of, my eyes have really just been open to a lot of the side of this that I haven't seen. And what I see is a lot of political corruption, especially here in Florida, from what I'm seeing what's in front of me. But I do have someone in the chat that says, if captivity is so horrible, then why do animals live almost twice as long when in captivity? And that was coming from a listener, Jeff Lowe. I mean, you've proven that.
That's a absolute fact. In captivity, they don't have to worry about disease, starvation, poaching. They get, better diets, they get better care, and they do live twice as long. A tiger normally in the wild would only live 10 to 14 years. We have our oldest tiger is 23. And,
wow.
It's just so sad that the general public, especially people that watched what we all watched last night, is misled that these animals cannot be just as happy in captivity.
I believe they can be just as, if not more. I watch Discovery and Animal Planet and all of that, and the things that the animals go through. It's heart-wrenching, and then you think about a species to where we've got, a limited amount of them, and then some unfortunate accident happens to a cub, and we just lost part of that species. You know, I mean, the thing with elephants really pissed me off, Joe. I got to be honest with you. That's one of the main things that really pissed me off. We had a show here on Talk Shit Radio Network called For the Love of Animals, and we did a piece on circus animals and how they're trained and what they go through. My father used to drive for the circus, the Ringling Brothers. He was a truck driver, and since I was a kid, I never, ever liked the circus because I watched my dad's truck getting loaded many times, and it's not what you see under the big top, I'll tell you that. It's horrible, horrible.
Well, you know, it's kind of like what they showed on TV last night about the target training.
Mm-hmm.
In order to get to look at their hands and their feet, they put them through this target training thing. All that done was possess me today to take my film crew out and show the world how I can get my apes to give me whichever foot I need through the fence in order to put lotion on or tickle them or whatever, you know, or draw them blood or whatever. The same way with the tiger, without ever picking up a target or a clicker at all.
Well, you saw what I put. You saw what I put about the clicker. That bothered me.
Well, you know, they're training these animals to respond to a clicker instead of a voice or love. And I have never picked up a clicker in my life. I've never picked up a target training stick in my life. And I can get every one of my animals to do what I need them to do out of respect.
Well, see, and you answered my question before I asked it, because that was my question. How do you train your animals? And you answered it through love and respect.
You also got
we're gonna make a video today and show the world how we can get our animals to cooperate and come to the fence by just love.
Awesome, good. I think that needs it. It needs to be done.
If you really pay attention to, you know, the big zoos, the A's zoo, it is all about money, and it's about the vending machines, the soda pop machines, the gift shops, and everything else. You never see how many times have you been to a zoo and you've seen a caretaker loving on one of their tigers or loving on one of their animals? They're there for exhibition.
The show, that's it.
Yeah, and they are the ones trying to put the private zoos and the private owners out of business when we're here every day interacting with our animals, because that's why we do this. The love and the affection of the species we take care of.
Well, see, one thing I was worried about the interview last night was the editing, like you had started off to say. I was worried how they edited the piece, because, I mean, we both know, Joe, we could film it, but we can edit it and make it, convoluted.
Any way we want.
We can convolute it any way we want. I was really impressed with that. Which brings me to now your place and how you do things there, as opposed to how a traditional zoo would do things. Can you get into some of that with me?
Well, we get up in the morning, at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we walk through our zoo, and we make sure all the animals are okay and made it through the night, and the exhibits look good before we open up. But throughout the day, it doesn't matter if we're feeding, if we're cleaning, or we're showing the customers our interaction with the animals. And the whole purpose of that is to show them that this is not your typical zoo. This is a facility that takes in unwanted animals, and they're loved. And you can take the meanest, aggressive tiger, or like the chimp, that I'm going to film today. I took him in at the age of 18 years old, never seen him before in my life, and he will hand me any foot or anything I need in order to examine him. And it's because he feels safe, he feels loved, and he feels respected.
Yep, absolutely. That's with any animal. I mean...
It's with any human, too.
Absolutely, yeah. True.
But,
in many words, we are animals.
Yeah, you're right. In many words, we are all animals.
I keep losing you, Lou.
I said, in many words, we are all animals. So, the
whether
same
you
respect.
believe we originated from primates or whatever, the USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture, has two classifications for primates. There's non-human primates and there's human primates.
Okay. Yep.
That's the difference between apes and monkeys.
Whether you like it or not, that's the way that we're governed by the United States Department of Agriculture. Is we're a primate.
Yeah.
But it all around wasn't a bad show. I think it could have been a lot more in depth explained. I'm all about TV, just like you're about radio. You can only get so much in an hour.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
But he threw out there some bits and pieces to where you could kind of take it any way you wanted, and then he kind of double talked on a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
But all around, I wasn't too disappointed with the show at all.
Yeah, no, afterwards, after it was done and over with, and I sat back and I went, okay, that wasn't so bad, because like I said, my biggest fear was they edited it in a way to where it was a little convoluted from the truth, but it was, it gave the good from the bad. Now we got, some things going on in the chat room here, Joe. Are you reading this? Apparently, we
got a discussion on who's for PETA and who's against PETA.
Yeah, and I assure you, I have no love for that organization. I won't even give them none here.
In the animal world, one of our biggest, toughest fights, Lou, is to get everybody to agree.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And it doesn't matter if you own a snake, or you own a monkey, or you own a tiger, or you own lesser cats, or you have a circus, or you have a photo show, or whatever. They constantly, and this is what has torn the animal community apart for years, is they constantly bicker and argue over who thinks who is doing right and who's doing wrong.
Instead of coming together.
Right. I know 3 circuses firsthand. I take care of their animals during the wintertime. I go to their shows during their season. None of them have elephants. They've got cats and horses and other things in their circus. And I know that they're good circuses and they take care of the animals. I've never been on a ringling circus, so I don't know, and I don't want to comment on how they take care of their, behind the scenes or anything like that. But, it's no different than the sanctuary world. It's no different than the zoo world. I can name you 10 sanctuaries, right off the top of my head, that are horrible to their animals.
Yeah.
And I can name you 20 that aren't. It's about educating and uniting. If I disagree with the way the elephant facility down there in Florida takes care of the elephants, it should be my job to go down there and say, hey guys, can we fix this, before you end up on the HSUS website or you end up on PETA's website.
Right.
Can we do something different?
To raise awareness.
Instead, they sit back and they just bitch about it.
Yeah, well.
That was the big thing about last night when they were talking about accreditation by the ASBA. There's been more injuries, fatalities, and escapes at AZA zoos than anywhere. Okay? And the Global Federation of Animal Sanctuaries, who also accredit sanctuaries and private zoos, last year they had a lady in Oregon that got killed by a mountain lion. They just had over a dozen tigers die in Texas at the Wiley facility in Think Exotics down there. For lack of veterinary care and vaccinations. They all got distemper and died.
Yep, they just convicted the Napiers here in Florida for animal cruelty, which was a supposedly sanctuary. Like 5 emaciated horses, dogs, chickens, cows, you name it, Joe. It was horrible.
If it was up to me to be able to make a law or make a standard, if you're going to accredit a facility and they're going to fly your flag, you should be held responsible for the care of those animals, the care of the staff, and any injuries or escapes, because you're the ones setting the standards. And I can promise you, especially with the Global Federation of Animal Sanctuaries and the Sanctuary Association of America, they no more go out and inspect those facilities once a year than a man and a maid. It's all about who's in whose club, paying that membership fee, and having a little clique out there to bitch about everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it's about.
Keyword is membership fee, because, I mean, you know, it goes back to what we talk about a lot here on Talk Shit Radio Network. Somehow, some way, those who are out to make the rules and regulate are also the ones who the money mongers, the ones who are just, you know, I mean, it just boils down to that situation. You know, it's the people, and it's the same situation we're talking about with the legalization of what we've got going on here in Florida and what the show is about all week. You know, we really, it comes to people like you questioning those who make these laws. So it's the voice is really what it is. It's being the people's voice. We need to stand up. We need to educate. That's really what it boils down to. Go ahead, Joe.
You know what it really boils down to? It's and I'm going to compare the cannabis thing to the animal thing.
Go ahead.
You know, we have the program called Animal Miracle Network, where we take little baby tigers and lions to dying children.
I love it.
And grant a last wish. Okay, and they're trying to. They have a Big Cat Safety Act, you know, presented to Congress. They have laws in every state being presented to make breeding and public contact illegal. Okay, it's the same thing as the cannabis thing. If one of them politicians had a dying child looking them in the eyes, their own dying child, and either said, "Dad, I want to pet a baby tiger before I die," or "Dad, I need some cannabis so I don't hurt anymore," they'd be the first ones to want to change the damn law.
Jump all over it, yep.
But until they become us, how are we ever going to win this?
And you said it. I watched an interview that you said until you hold that first tiger in your hand, that baby tiger, or have one of these animals become your friend and you know, get to know it, you'll never know that. You really will never know that.
You won't. And it's the same thing with the cannabis thing. If those politicians spent half an hour a year in a children's ward or a cancer ward and saw how those people need it, you wouldn't have a problem.
And with you, I mean, it's you know, you're a cancer patient yourself.
It's been a hell of a fight, man.
Yeah, buddy.
A hell of a fight. Yeah. You know, and that's the first thing. It's not legal here in Oklahoma.
No, I know. Yeah.
That's the first thing my doctor said. You know, can you smoke pot? Unfortunately, I can't because I don't like the feeling. So I throw up every day.
Yep. And you know, plus, you don't need the ramifications, the legal ramifications that could come with it. So it's really, you know, you got to do what you got to do to stay on focus. You know what I'm saying?
But is it fair because I can't, for the next cancer patient to not be able to because they need it? Absolutely not. Yep. You know, would you rather have one of your family members get legally from a pharmacy a top-notch stuff, or would you rather have them buying trash out of the alley because that's the only way they can get it?
Right. You don't know what's going on. Right. Exactly. And now I was watching a bunch of your bits, Joe, from Joe Exotic TV. How you've got legislation out there that wants to close you down?
Oh, you know, they've entered this bill every year since 2007, trying to make it illegal to breed, illegal to have public contact. And once the animals die, you can't replace them. And see, the only thing that they're exempting is AVA zoos. Unfortunately, we have lawsuits going on in Louisiana and Ohio right now for that same law, because what our lawmakers don't understand is the AZA is not a government agency. It's a private group of private people in a nonprofit.
Who has board members and board leaders.
And a state, city, or federal government cannot make you join a private group to be exempt from a criminal law.
Yes.
That would be the same thing as me joining Lou and Tim's organization to be able to sell crack cocaine. It's against the law, okay?
Yeah.
And if it's against the law, for me, it is against the law for the city of Oklahoma City to not break a law and be exempt from a fine or jail time. It's called creating an illegal monopoly. Plain and simple.
We talked about that earlier, monopolies. Joe, talk to me about about what you got going on out there and on a day-to-day basis. And
I'm very interested in the crossbreeding that you guys got going on over there with the tiger and the lions, actually.
Well, we work very close with the National Institute of Health Sciences guys.
Yes.
And we've been able to prove a couple things by crossbreeding.
Mm-hmm.
One is they're genetically stronger. Two is that there's never been a genetically deformed animal from crossbreeding.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people like to confuse the public inbreeding of crossbreeding. Inbreeding is a bad thing.
Yep.
And we've been able to prove that they live just as long and just as healthy as a purebred animal. And my favorite way of putting this into layman's terms for people is a mutt dog is stronger than a purebred dog.
No, that's very true.
You go to the pound and you adopt a mutt dog and take him home and he gets run over and eats rat poison and he is fine. He doesn't need to go to a vet. You buy a purebred Doberman Pinscher, Chihuahua, English Bulldog, and you have to have them on a special diet because their stomach is a wreck. You have skin problems. You got eye allergies. You got everything
that are natural diseases that they
to that breed.
Right. like with Labradors, they can catch cancer in their lifespan better than a mixed breed.
Joe, basically what you've started doing now, this is just a question of mine because the light bulb came on now. You could basically almost breed out birth defects, diseases, so on and so forth, out of a specific line of animal.
Exactly. And you saw where they were doing the sonogram on the heart of the gorilla.
Yeah.
And they were talking about the heart lining, is thicker and not as healthy.
Yep.
But did you notice what they were feeding them? A dry primate biscuit, which is nothing but, and I pulled some of this stuff up on the internet before I even called you all today, just so we had our facts. The first ingredient is soybean meal, ground corn, and ground wheat. Now, where the hell do they find that in the wild?
They don't, yeah.
No, they don't. That's processed for them to eat.
It's Purina dog food.
And then it's preserved with magnesium oxide and zinc oxide and all this other stuff, and they're wondering why their animals are sick. We have over 180 big cats right now. I have never had a cat die of cancer. I have never had a cat die of tumors. And it's because we feed, and we catch hell from this, but we have certain feedlots that we trust to pick up their dead cattle that die, in their feedlots because we know that they don't give them these medicines and they don't euthanize them with an injection, which is deadly to feeding that out. And our cats get the bone, hair, the guts, the tendons, everything, because that's what they eat in the wild.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and
you're not taking anything away from them because you give them the whole
nutritional value wise. It's everything that a growing tiger needs.
And it's the same way with our primates. After I saw their primate diet last night, I told Rinky, I got shit. It was like, oh my God, we're overfeeding our animals because they get oranges. It's oranges, strawberries, cantaloupe, lettuce, the leafy greens that they need, spinach instead of romaine lettuce. And we wonder why everybody, I sit back every day and I look online. Big Cat Rescue has lost over 155 cats.
Yeah, don't even get me started on her, brother. I'm telling you, man. That's
not just cats.
And AGA zoos.
It's not the only thing she lost.
It's elephants.
Yeah, no, I know.
What the hell, you know?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And they have no room to talk about private. I know more private owners, Lou. It's crazy, especially in the monkey world, that spend $10,000 and $20,000 and $30,000 on their monkeys having their own habitat in their house.
That's craziness.
And it is crazy. They have climbing walls. They've got their own bunk beds. I mean, it's insane, when you think about it. But these are healthy animals, and you don't see near the cancer, diabetes, and everything else that you see in your big AZA zoos.
Yeah.
Now, when they were talking about their species survival plan, the AZA gene pool is so watered down because they only can breed within their own gene pool, where private breeders have the strongest bloodline, the healthiest genetics outside of that gene pool because you can't get in that country club. So it is very, very, what word am I looking for? It's so important that the private sector keeps these genetic lines alive, because you can only breed so long and you're going to run out of bloodline, and that's exactly what the AZA is doing.
Gotcha.
And then when they do need a bloodline, they go catch it out of the wild. And a lot of people don't understand that AZA zoos, most of the animals come from the wild. So they're helping deplete the wild population by putting them in AZA zoos.
Which is counterproductive to what they're supposed to be doing anyway.
Exactly. You can ask Oklahoma City Zoo, for instance. They brought in 3 African lions from the wild, and they got them in Oklahoma City, and they were so mean and so aggressive and so unpredictable.
Yeah. You with me, Joe? I think I just lost him.
Oh, boy.
Back.
You just cut him off?
No.
You just dropped out?
Yeah, the phone call just dropped.
Wow.
I just went to go ask him after he was, or if he was still talking. Was that you or me?
I don't know.
All right, fine. Don't talk to us.
Yeah, all of a sudden I went to go ask you something and you were gone. Joe, I just, it's, what the hell is that? That's you calling in. Hello?
There's a storm advisory out there.
Hey, you there? I don't know what happened.
But anyway, they shipped these 3 lions in from Africa to the Oklahoma City Zoo, and they were so mean that they sent them on to the Wichita Zoo. When a facility like ours has 18 African lions, it would have loved to live in $1 million display.
Yeah.
But because you're not a member of that country club and you don't go by their rules, they go catch 3 lions on the wild.
Which is totally absurd because, like I said, it's
they're taking them out of their natural
Yeah.
habitat and bringing it into a facility to breed for their not their recreation, but for their purposes.
Well, yeah. Yep. Unbelievable. This chat room is exploding. We have a naysayer in here all over us, Joe. You should jump in on a chat and maybe answer some of her questions. Not too sure how to even begin with it, but so much of what you do, my eyes have been open to since I met you. It's, I haven't been to a zoo in a long time, but as far as like an amusement park that has animals and this and that and so on and so forth.
Jeff Lowe, thank you very much. I'm sorry.
We got SeaWorld here. We got Busch Gardens here. Don't get me wrong. It's beautiful. It's great to go see the animals. You can see in my Facebook page, we've taken that little personal tour and got up close with the animals. It's a really great thing. But if you look beyond where they live and if just take the Sky Ride, actually, just get on the Sky Ride because it goes over all the cages where they're kept, and it's this little box. They're only out there on display for the park admission. Like Joe said, the little trinkets you can buy, little wax figures, this, that. It's all about that dollar bill when it comes to that. What you're trying to do, go ahead.
It really, let me interrupt you on that one right there, because, it's just like Tony the Tiger in Louisiana, but you can go to LSU, and they have, how many tigers have they been through? I think like 15 or 18 tigers.
For studies?
And they have the LSU tiger setting there on exhibit with the most elaborate gift shop of everything you could buy LSU tigers. It is not about that tiger. So why in America can Tony the Tiger not live peacefully in his home?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah.
It's
I've stopped there.
Bullshit that goes on in this country.
It's horrible, Joe. I just I can't fathom the idea of how some people are so closed-minded at what's in front of them. And I'm not pointing fingers at anyone. I'm not poking at anyone. I mean, we've got people in the chat right now that are so blind that is to what's being presented in front of them, that the only other way that I could see to open people's eyes is to bring them out to a place, a facility like yours, and then bring them to a quote-unquote zoo. That maybe...
I don't even understand why you would catch something out of the wild to bring them to the zoo. And I own a zoo.
Mm-hmm.
I run a zoo. You can captively breed something that has been here 15 generations and do just fine. But when you take something that is out of the wild, defeats our whole purpose of saving our wild.
Mm-hmm. And it's not only the breeding that you do there, am I correct, Joe? You do take in animals that other people cannot take care of, that are in need of it, of being rescued, correct?
Just last month, we took in 37 tigers, lions, and leopards.
That's pretty big. That's pretty damn big.
The biggest rehome that we've done so far was 42 tigers at one time. And they showed a little bit about us shipping tigers out last night on the show, but they really didn't explain what we do here.
Mm-hmm.
When we bring in 42 tigers at one time, the ones that are not imperfect, they have snub noses or missing parts of their ears or tails, or they limp or whatever, we get them up to health, and we ship them out to privately owned zoos. So that way, that zoo doesn't have to go buy an animal, and the 42 that we just rescued doesn't have to live in an overcrowded sanctuary. So it kind of filters out in this little spiderweb effect, and it helps everybody.
Well, and that was my next question. How does that benefit them other people? And you answered that, so that's perfect. It's amazing. I don't know. It's hard for me to even express how I feel right now because, like I said, I've always been aware of what goes on. Never really behind the scenes, just for my own opinion formed. But when you actually do speak to someone like you and are made aware of certain things, it definitely puts a lot of things into perspective. That's for sure.
It's education. It's all about education in our world. The private sector, the private zoos, and the private sanctuaries are more about education. You watched him last night stand there and answer a few questions about gorillas, to the customers, but it was very short lived.
Mm-hmm.
Now you go to the Columbus Zoo or the Detroit Zoo or the LA Zoo or even Lowry Park Zoo there in your area, and how many employees do you ever see standing around telling you about the animals?
I've never, unless it's
exactly,
a show.
Because
unless
that's not what it's about. It's about that ticket sales and selling everything they can within that park.
Right.
And it's not about educating the public, and that's our mission, and that's what we do. Me and Rinky all day long. That's all we do. Talk to customers, explain, where the animals came from, why the animals came here, what they can do to help stop the destruction of the rainforest. I mean, you ought to Google sometime what products come from the rainforest, and you'll be shocked. Skittles, Hershey's chocolate. It's amazing what every day we use that kills these animals as habitat.
That's amazing. It is. It is. I know of a few. I've done a little bit of research. That's for sure. Now that's one thing about your place, Joe. You're adamant about. It's not about just bringing the people in. Pay for the admission. This is this animal. This is this animal. This is this animal. Have a nice day. Thanks for coming. No, you actually bring them in and you educate them cage by cage. You personally are out there in the park with them when you are available, and also, if you can touch on a little bit, it's not just at your park where you're at that you do this. You're all over the place. Am I correct?
I used to tour Lou doing magic with animals as well, and some of my stuff is online, and you can see. And even my magic show was about education. It wasn't about really magic. I used magic in order to keep their attention. But I performed in front of almost 7 million people over those 9 years. And the whole thing, my whole mission is education. And I, as a kid going to school, you could not make me sit down and read a book. I could not concentrate enough to remember what I read on the first page.
I was the same way.
But if you put me in stock class or FFA or whatever,
hands-on experience, yeah.
I could do it in a heartbeat.
No, and remember how to do it.
Hands-on education is so important because until you connect with it, who the hell cares what's happening in Guyana or India?
Right.
I could care less because I would never afford to go there.
Right. Until you're standing there and it's a situation that you put in that you it's do or die. You'll never understand. And that's your that's my main point with this with you is again, until somebody walks into your establishment and sits down and talks to you and has a conversation with you and you educate them a little, they really won't understand your true stance on that.
No, they won't. They won't. And they'll never understand what they're doing in their everyday life to help destroy these animals as habitat until they have a baby tiger in their lap. And then when they leave here, they're going to say, wow, Mom, we got to do something. It's just, there's no better education than hands-on education.
Well, I have to bring up something, and it just what you just said, Mom, I have to do something, brings me right to it. My daughter, Joe, has turned into your biggest fan around here. She can't stop talking about it. She wore the sweatshirt to school yesterday. Her teacher asked her about it, and that was the end of that. Class was over. You were the topic. They pulled it up on the computer. My daughter got up in front and talked about you and us and what I'm trying to accomplish with you and what you're trying to accomplish with what your organization does. And it was just this whole to-do, and she was so proud that she stopped her class to educate them about what you do and who you are. And I was very proud of her as well. That's
awesome.
As proud of her as I am of you. That's for sure. So, Jackie, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, we got to get Tim and some of them underwear and do some fundraisers. I think that is your next step to making your radio station a hit.
Joe, yesterday I did a little grooving.
Live remotes with Tim and underwear.
Everyone loves it.
I couldn't believe I finally shut my phone on. Well, the battery actually died, and then I just didn't charge it back up until I went to bed, put it on silent because, oh my God, man. Tim, he was quite the hit in your Joe Exotic Tiger King underwear, buddy. That's for sure. We got a little skit planned for you with the camouflage ones. Yeah, we're going hunting in the jungle, the mighty jungle.
Hunting. We're gonna go safari.
Yeah, we're gonna go safari, and in the jungle, the mighty jungle. We're gonna put a spoof together, and then I think you'll enjoy the message where I'm gonna try and get across with it, especially with the Tampa. Tampa thing.
Back to Tampa real quick though. Did you remember hearing on the news about the illegal horse slaughtering thing that was going on?
Oh yeah.
Right on the outside her fence.
Uh-huh.
Now, how come she never bashed that?
Come on. Here's a couple bucks. Here you go. Shh. Shh. Take this and shh. Yeah, come on. That's what I'm learning. Okay, very quickly about that whole situation is it's there's a lot of payoffs. Lots and lots and lots of payoffs.
That you will never see anywhere online. She bashes that.
Well, I found this. I have a new friend. Okay, I don't know if I told you about my new friend. His name is Juan, and that's about all the information I can give on him.
He is
that's
awesome. Nobody knows who he is. Everybody thinks he's me. And he's
no,
not.
no.
I'm not one.
Nope, it is not you.
Has his shit together.
He don't even live in Florida, Joe. The guy, he don't even live in Florida. That's the beauty about it. That's what I like him. I am going to quote him. Oh, yeah, I posted his website on the Facebook page. I am going to quote. Oh, yeah, that's my new best friend, buddy. Him and I are going to get to know each other, and because he seems like he's got just as much information on our mutual friend as you know a lot of people do.
I would almost say he used to work there or something.
Oh, that would be sweet. That would be sweet. I told you what we were going to do. We're going to go put the shirts on and go walk around the park and then take off our jackets. Feel like, yeah,
so we spent 2 whole days out there on Gun Boulevard, Gun Highway,
Gun Highway,
yeah, Street and Gun Boulevard, in animal costumes one weekend. And it was not a pretty sight. The cops were all for her.
Yeah, well, never mind that. That just goes with the sheriff's department corruption here in Florida. I live in a county and am surrounded by about 12 counties that, yeah, you know, you can be bought. And that's my message to her. And I did post it on her wall, and it took about 14.4 milliseconds for it to be removed and me to be blocked. I introduced myself to her, told her I can't be bought. I'm not going away. And I am like that guy with the stick and the bee's nest.
You know, that's the horrible thing about the internet and social media is they will get online and bash you and you cannot comment.
Yeah. Yeah.
You cannot defend yourself.
No, I know. She could say what she wants, but I mean, you know, it's real easy to go make up another email address and another Facebook alias and go say what I got to say in rebuttal. That's, you know.
The 6 you got now isn't enough.
I know. The 6 that I have now, I mean, she's catching on quick, but that's okay because people are seeing it. And those eyes are being open. I plan on pressuring the sheriff's department to find out why they have no information about what's going on out at Skip's property. So, yeah, and I'm also going to talk to...
have we heard anything about what's going on out there?
We have not.
Are the cops still out there?
We have not heard a word. I've posted publicly on their Facebook page here in Hernando County. I've sent the media relations officer multiple emails to no surprise with no response. Yeah. So it looks like I'm going to have to go call my little buddy who lived with Skip, and he's going to have to bring me on the property because, because he lives there and he can do that.
It is very tight-lipped. They're not letting much out at all.
No, and this is the Hernando County Sheriff's Department, I'll be honest with you, doing their job because I think they know we are watching. I haven't made that a secret. They know I'm scrutinizing them, buddy, and if they screw this one up, this is not going to be good for them. They may be able to lock me up for what's going on, but if they screw this one up, this one's going all the way because I'm a registered journalist with the United States Press Agency. Any article I write goes international. And you know what effect that has, Joe. So, I mean, all eyes are watching. All eyes are watching down here in Tampa, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. And when I heard that whole story, and just to recap on how Joe and I become friends and involved with each other, there are no other interests other than me hearing that the police were out at that property searching for the remains of a human. I didn't know anything about this Carol, whatever her name is.
Baskin.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't want to say what I was going to say. I didn't know about you. I didn't know who you were. You didn't know who I was. Am I correct?
That's absolutely right. I stumbled upon you one morning when they were digging up that property and called in as just a Joe Blow caller.
Yep. It was actually a random thing. So just for those out there that, you know, because we have some naysayers in the chat that are questioning what's going on in our relationship. No, Skip is not a friend of mine. People are asking. I have a mutual friend that lives with Skip, and so on and so forth. But anyway, just to recap how we met, we didn't know each other from a hole in the wall, and you stumbled across things on the internet, and just to show you the power of the internet. So you may be able to run for a little while, but you can't hide forever. That's
right. That's right. The end of the world. There is an end of the world.
You'll eventually run into it. It may be your world, not the world, but eventually, yeah, I do believe that, Joe. I do believe that, and that's where you've inspired me, because I am a cat lover. I've never owned a big cat. I've never been around big cats other than the facility that we're questioning on a school field trip, and I was a little disgusted when I seen what I seen for the conditions. I really was. I wanted to do something then, but when I was told by what it takes to get licensed and handler and how you got to volunteer and all of this, and I said, wow, that's a lot, just like anybody else would,
Right.
And then
Well, I'm excited to get you out here for the monkey ball.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And I think between seeing the facility and meeting the people that will attend this monkey ball with the monkeys, I think you'll see a whole new world of why these people fight so hard.
I look forward to it. I'll be honest with you. I really do. It's something that we do not stop talking about here, honestly, Joe. I really look forward to it.
I'll wear your underwear to the monkey bowl.
Yeah, we're going to make him, as soon as he gets off the plane, bro, I told him.
We're going to sell a dinner date for Tim in his underwear.
What did I tell you?
Money.
What did I tell you? He's
auction.
Yeah, he didn't believe me, bro. I told him yesterday. I said, "You wait, we got plans for you, buddy."
If you get on shoptigerking.com and go to the underwear site, the little Tarzan ones with the flap, those are the ones we're going to get Tim in to auction them off.
All right, cool. I love it. Go ahead and get that posted on the
what
Facebook
was it? I'm sorry,
page.
Tarzan.
Say again. Say the website again, Joe.
ShopTigerKing.com.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so cool, yeah, and we're gonna get that up on the Facebook page. We're gonna get your your website and everything.
The Tarzan underwear, and Tim ought to bring $1,500 at least.
Oh, nice. That's cool. He even went and manicured himself up all last night. You know, he did some trimming.
Yeah, I did. No joke. I did.
He had some almost as much hair as some of your tigers, my friend.
Not anymore.
Yeah. The funniest thing, Joe, is he probably could have put on a large and they would have fit, but no, he took the smallest ones that you sent us and put the smallest ones on. So that
I was still bunched up.
Made that pooch a little fuller.
I was so bunched up.
If he would have sneezed, they would have blown across the room. I mean, would have been projectile underwear everywhere.
That is too funny,
Joe. What else you got going on?
I'm glad that he had the sense of humor to let all these people just have fun with that picture boy. They did not stop.
He's an amazing person. His personality is great. Everything he does for us here is unbelievable. And yes, he is a great sport. That's my tiger, little cat trying to get in the door right now at the studio, trying to rip it down.
If he turns the knob on that, I'm gonna get scared. I'm out of here.
Yeah. That white cat that Timmy, yes, Joe Exotic, John in the chat room. That white cat that Timmy was holding, that's our lover boy. That's his name. Took me 2 weeks to come up with that name, but when you meet him, you'll figure out why we call him lover boy.
It's a Siberian panther.
Yeah, it's my Siberian. I can't even do the accent.
Siberian.
Right now. He'll be in the videos. You'll see.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Joe, thank you very much, buddy. Yeah.
There's some confrontation going on in the chat room between a few people. Again, if I can reiterate, if you don't agree, if you're in this industry and you don't agree with what somebody's doing, do the same thing that I do, the USDA does, and that's go out there and help them change it. Don't sit back and bitch about it, and don't sit back and act like it's not going on. Get out there and try and do something. In Ohio, last week, they confiscated Pine Ridge's animals. The state of Ohio confiscated all their animals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I was there with the entire board of the USDA several years ago, and I have to admit the place was pathetic. I felt sorry for the animals. Where the hell the inspector was, nobody knows, because they had no perimeter fence since the place has been built to keep the general public from walking from the road to the tiger cages. And so now that they're being confiscated, everybody's screaming foul, you know. But I went out there with the entire board and offered to help rebuild and clean the place up, and the gentleman turned us away, you know. So you can't sit and cry foul 4 years later because you refused help and you didn't try and get yourself up to that level of staying out of trouble. There's people in this industry that I highly respect, and there's a few people in this industry that deserve what they get. And, you know, my motto is if you don't like what's going on, stand up and change it.
Very true, Joe.
Or
absolutely.
Don't come crying on my shoulder later.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I couldn't agree with you more. And there's a lot of people in the chat room right now that are agreeing with what you said. A very close friend of mine said, "Don't complain, train." You know,
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
everybody wants us to help when it's too late.
Yeah,
we need to band together, and I wished this industry would police our own. You wouldn't see all this in the news. You wouldn't see it in the newspapers. Everything else, if somebody would just be the bad guy. And unfortunately, I've stood up to be that bad guy. You know, if you're doing wrong, I'll be the first one to offer you help. I went and rebuilt the zoo in Missouri. I went and rebuilt the zoo in Louisiana. I went down to Tony the Tiger truck stop and built him a swimming pool. And that is their opportunity to change. And the next time I come back, I'm going to be coming back to help take care of animals because you have the opportunity to change, and you either do it or you don't.
And that just goes to show it's a whole nother side of you that you are willing to do. But and my message to this is. You know, if you ask for the help, don't just ask for it because it's there. Ask for it because you want to utilize it, you need it, and it is there. You know, use the information.
And then if you're asking for money, make sure it goes to the animals.
That's one of my biggest problems, Joe. I've always talked about.
That's my horriblest pet peeve is it doesn't go to the animals. But you know, the scams that are out there. With the accreditation and everything else, I'll tell you a funny story. I've been kicked out of almost every organization there is because I have such a big mouth and I stand for what's right. There was this organization that was accrediting. I mean, what they do is they certify you as a big cat handler. Okay? And you have to send in the paperwork and all this shit and a $35 fee to get certified as a big cat handler. Well, I sent in an application for my kangaroo. His name was Jack Jackson. And lo and behold, he got a certification in the mail to handle big cats. And it wasn't about checking the qualifications or the training or the references. It was about collecting that $35 and sending a $35
fee. That fee.
You're a big cat handler. So now I have a kangaroo that's a big cat handler.
That's awesome, bro. I love that. I love that.
Like they don't care what species it is.
No,
matter.
and let me ask you this: no qualifications were asked for. They didn't ask for any credentials on who the kangaroo was, a copy of picture ID or anything. You would think.
Somebody serving papers. No. And if they would have asked questions, they would have found out that it was a kangaroo.
You got somebody there, Joe?
Yeah, I'm sitting here watching the security camera. Our mutual good friend had me served by the U.S. Marshals twice yesterday. So another guy just walked in with a clipboard. So
really, would they care to speak up about what they're doing, or are they a little tight-lipped out there?
Oh, you know, believe it or not, she's suing. John Rinke that works here, the guy with no leg.
Yeah.
She is suing him for receiving a place to live for free and satellite TV.
What?
She needs the money, I guess, huh?
She wants his piece of free rent and satellite TV.
Right.
Is that not pathetic?
Yo, we are talking about nothing but, and I'm going to be extremely blunt, so for those of you who have sensitive ears, you might want to cover them up. A dirty, nasty hooker who took advantage of someone, all right, and continues to take advantage of a species or species.
Exploiting it
for her own profit. You can uncover your ears for those sensitive ears now.
And that's all it is for our own profit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. Unbelievable.
But anyway,
Joe.
guys, I need to go see what the badges are all about. I am honored to be a part of your show.
A very close friend of mine, a mutual friend, somebody that's in the show who I speak about all the time. John was a breeder. He agrees with the whole. We'll talk to you later, Joe. No problem, buddy. I know you got things to do. I'm extremely proud to be a part of everything that you do and be involved. And it is again my honor to have you on the show. That's Talk Shit Radio for you. I mean, we had a couple disrupts here I see on the network board here. Let me see what's going on.
Really?
Yeah, at 11:39:25 we had a network error
That just happened.
Yep. We did, okay. And then it was only for a few seconds that it went down. But
I didn't even notice.
Again, that's Talk Shit Radio. This is, TGIF Friday. It's been Cannabis Week. Joe, thank you. Thank you, Ronnie Sands. Thank you, everybody. There's so many people. Jeff Lowe, John, getting back into the Shepherd's game again, obviously. Good for you. Daisy. Who else am I forgetting?
Jeff Lowe.
I said Jeff Lowe, Ronnie Sands, September Pierce, all of our guests today.
Yes.
Talk Shit, rocking out. Thank you, John. Thank you very much. And hit me up and let's talk about these shepherds because it's just all part of what we're doing here, buddy. Listen, I'm real proud to be able to say that I've got an audience of like you people. And if it wasn't for you guys following me and sticking with it, I'd have gave up a long time ago, and like I said, I've got a new lease on life. I've got a new direction, and you guys are starting to see it. So thank everyone. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate you chiming in all the time now. Tim.
Yes, Michelle, thank you for being with us.
As always, Tim, you walk your ass off. I will do, John. You walk your ass off every morning to be here, almost 3 miles.
No problem.
Come rain or shine, this guy's here on the air with me. So, thanks everyone. Talk Shit Radio Network.
See ya.
The United States Zoological Association and Team USZA Animal Miracle Network supports the owners of all species of pets. Our mission is to educate and help people of the world become better caretakers of the animals you have chosen to be a part of your family. Through the Miracle Network, we strive to grant last wishes for the terminally ill to meet an animal of their choice. It's through education we can save our wildlife and make a better place for them to live amongst us. Join the USZA today at usza.us and become part of a world loving animals.
Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, before we go, up next is the block party. I guess we'll call it the block party repercussions. So we'll be right back with some tunes. Talk Shit Radio Network. We're out.